Good morning, Navneet sir.
Hello.
Good morning, Navneet sir.
Just 1 second. Can you swap it? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning, sir. I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? I can hear you, sir.
Where's the volume so? No.
I can hear you, sir.
I'm not able to hear you.
Hello, good morning.
Are these yours?
ये थोड़ी बड़ा वैसे वाला है उसमें है क्या नाम साइड पापा के उसमें पड़ा हुआ ड्रॉर में Hello, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Okay, right. Let me write off. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yes.
Just let me try without the headset. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's some problem with the speaker. Okay, now it's better. Hello, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Perfect.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Should I start sharing my screen?
You can, sir. Okay, you can.
Okay.
Let me get my stuff here.
You're over there. Your mouse.
Just a second.
Click on Zoom. Zoom. New share. Click new share. Gosh. It's showing it up there. Stop sharing.
Okay, just 1 second.
It's on that screen.
Okay, let me see if I can try to share again.
Control. Where's the Zoom call? Oh, it's not here. Where's the Zoom call? Stop.
Okay, share the screen. Okay, are you seeing my slides now?
Yes, sir. I can see.
Okay. You are seeing my presentation part of it, right? Not the
Yes.
my speaker. Okay.
No, I can see you on the side and I can completely see your slide.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Let me just do the thing here. Okay, let me know when we are ready to go live.
Yes, sir. Just another 5 minutes or 10 max will start.
Okay, no worries. How do I hide these slides from the bottom?
Not that I know.
Wow, Navneet sir.
Hello, Manish ji. Hello, Manish ji. कैसे हैं आप?
बहुत बढ़िया sir. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, just we're having some technical glitches here.
That's all right. You take your time. No problem. We can.
No, I'm ready. Let me know whenever you guys want me to go ahead.
Okay, maybe say in another 5 minutes, cause we're waiting for the people to join here and at the YouTube and Facebook. So maybe another 5 minutes and we would be good to go. And I hope you are having a wonderful evening there.
Yep. So far, so good.
That's the way it should be. Shantanu sir, can I get to see you?
Yes, I am there.
Wow, wow. Namaste, Shantanu sir.
Namaste, namaste, bhai sahab. कैसे हैं आप?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good.
That's great.
Your
So,
company, I'm too energetic today to see the penultimate day of the third conference.
wonderful, wonderful. So, Navneet sir, it's Professor Dr. Shantanu Das. He's the visionary from Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Newtown, Yelahanka, Bangalore. So, it's this summit, this is happening. It's the brainchild idea of Dr. Shantanu Das. And we joined hands and we are doing this. And it's 90 years that Seshasdripuram is celebrating its 90 years. So 9 decades they are into education. And they're celebrating their 90 years, and that is why this confluence of technologies is happening. And we are blessed that you accepted our invite, and despite it's being late night in US right now, Mr. Navneet Goyal is from San Francisco, USA, and it's late night, still he is with us just to share his expertise, his knowledge, his intellect with us. So see, the, Professor Shantanu and the dear audience, it's the people like Mr. Navneet Goyal who create a difference, that putting himself at discomfort for the comfort of others. So with my folded hands, I welcome you at the platform. Thank you for being with us and thank you for accepting our invite, Navneet sir.
Thank you, Dr. Manish. Thanks for such a nice intro, and it's great to meet Dr. Shantanu. You are doing such a great work. So thanks a lot. And looks like you have set up a very high expectation from me for the audience now.
We don't have any expectation at all. We just want to know who Navneet Goyal sir is and what made him who he is, and whatever expertise, the decades of experience you carry in the domain of technology, people would love to know, because we are gearing towards a world that is all going to be technology, and the future is technology dependent. So it's the sooner we adopt the technology, it would be better for us.
Sure.
So we
It's
might
my pleasure to be here.
Say another 2-3 minutes, Dr. Shantanu Das?
Yeah, max 5 minutes. Max 5 minutes.
Wonderful.
Max.
We have MV Rangacharyalu sir as well. Sir, can you please kindly turn on your camera and turn on your microphone?
I believe my camera is on and microphone is on. Can you guys see my video as well as my slides?
Yeah.
No, not you, Navneet sir. We have later. We have MV Rangacharyalu sir. He's a speaker during the later days. So I was just asking him.
Okay, sounds good.
If I can get to see him. I think he's not available at the system.
No, he was there morning. Yeah, he is there.
Oh, he's there. Wow. No, I'm still not able to see him. No problem.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Sir, good morning.
Krishna, I'm Rangacharyalu, sir, here.
Sir, namaste, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
So good to see you, sir, right in the morning itself.
Pardon?
I'm saying so good to see you right in the morning itself.
Yeah. I'm here. Actually, Santanji, I just wanted to discuss with you something which I'll be discussing in a break.
Definitely. I am ready for that, sir. Open this.
No,
It will
it's
be
very
my pleasure to have a discussion with you.
It's very simple. I can, if I can share that, I'll share right now.
Yes.
Surely, if you want to, as per your comfort, sir.
Yeah. Actually, what happened in the profile, you mentioned about my experience and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But the most significant aspect is that I was in the training system for 5.5 years.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I was in the regional staff college of the bank for 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was involved in training of all the freshers, then induction program, then all the
Wow,
freshers.
that's super great, sir.
So something like that.
Wonderful. If you can just send us the 2 lines, so when we are going to introduce you, we would love to mention these significant aspects of your life.
I sent the complete profile to Dr. Nancy, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Then we are going to take the profile from Dr. Nancy, and we're going to mention these significant aspects the time we are going to introduce you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful.
Then Munishji, I'd like
Yes,
to
sir.
interrupt here.
Uh-huh.
That the speakers,
Uh-huh.
whatever are there, means the speakers, the esteemed speakers,
Yes.
last 3, whom we have included.
Uh-huh.
If you can share their profile with me.
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely. I'll be sending you in the lunch hour, Shantanu, sir.
Done.
Done, sir.
Done.
Today we are going to have a wonderful day for everyone, for all our eminent speakers around the globe. They are coming and joining us today. Today's lineup is we have Mr. Navneet Goel from San Francisco, USA, Dr. Gulshan, Director General ICSI International Chamber for Service Industry, Dr. Venkataraman Chakrapani from India, Dr. Harmeet Singh, Project Head Rovanova, Dr. Gayatri from Mauritius, Mr. M.V. Rangacharyalu sir, whom we just heard, Ms. Palaksani, our child prodigy from India, Mr. Sameer Garg, founder of Billionables, and Ms. Urvi Agarwal. And then we have the inauguration ceremony for our Center of Excellence, Mentorex and Seshasdripuram First Grade College, and Hover Robotics and Seshasdripuram First Grade College. So, and we have much more. We have valedictory session and the honoring ceremony today for each of our eminent speakers. The day is going to unfold very beautifully. We'll be starting in say another 2-3 minutes, and I think it's gonna be non-stop till 7 p.m. today.
And it's a bright sunny day in Bangalore, the Friday, the 28th of August 2020. So in the presence of August gathering, esteemed guest, and day starts from US, California, so we can
San Francisco. Shantanu sir, Navneet sir is from San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay.
Yes.
So it will be a really wonderful day.
The way we both talk now, Shantanu sir, you and me, if someday they need commentators in cricket, we can do wonderful comments. It's a wonderful sunny day today out there on the pitch. The players are ready, and we are going to hit with the first ball. So, and wow, the wonderful, the first woman, I call her the first woman, Dr. Nancy Juneja. She has joined us, and let's hear the good morning wishes from Dr. Nancy Juneja. The wonderful, colorful rainbow woman with her wonderful smiles. Namaste, good morning to you, Dr. Nancy Juneja.
Namaste, Dr. Jindal. Namaste, Professor Shantanu Das sir. It is indeed a humbling experience to listen to Navneet sir at day 3. And I'll say, it is great going as day by day we are increasing the level, sharing immense knowledge, contributing to the youth empowerment and setting in contributing and making India a self-independent country. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Indeed, looking forward for a power-packed day with you.
Wonderful. Navneet sir, I really want to let you know that though I'm the founding president of MentorX, but MentorX has been the brainchild idea of Dr. Nancy Juneja, and we co-founded it together. And under her able leadership and under her global vision, now MentorX is flourishing in 32 plus countries. And Dr. Nancy Juneja possesses a vision that MentorX is soon by 2022, MentorX in 200 countries, touching the lives of all the 8 billion people.
Wow.
And this is
really great.
Possible with the people like you, Navneet sir, because we are the enablers. We are the enablers, but the real workers, the people who are making it happen, that is wonderful, eminent human beings like you, who don't shy away sharing their intellect, their knowledge, their experience with the people, and that too, even if it's a late night, still you are available. So we are thankful to you.
No, I think it's all because of efforts of you and Dr. Nancy, who set the path, and we just come along and just walk over those paths, which you guys have done with your hard work. So really, I highly appreciate all the efforts that you guys have put in, and it's my pleasure and my honor to be here.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. It's together a team effort, and now we a team, and we have much more for you, sir, ahead. And we are not going to leave you just with the one conference. We have many more things lined up, and now we're going to keep bugging you, and we're going to keep making you keep awake at the late nights, and you're going to be like, oh, these guys don't leave me at all.
No worries. It'll be my pleasure.
Be ready to sacrifice more of your sleep.
Okay, we'll see.
Great, sir.
So I think we can start.
Done, sir. Let's keep the ball rolling.
Yes. So thank you, Dr. Munish Jindal. Thank you, Dr. Nancy Juneja. And with both of your support and kind guidance and what is called unconditional blessings, support, love, and care, I think we are able to make our 90th celebration a vibrant, colorful, and a beautiful one in a sunny morning in Bangalore on the 28th of August 2020, the Friday. So here, I'd like to introduce Mr. Navneet Goyal from San Francisco, USA, who is the Executive Vice President, Inspire LLC serial entrepreneur and angel investor board member, advisor, coach, real estate investor, 25 plus years in business management, IT consulting, and software. Serial entrepreneur, leading and guiding various companies, C-level relationships, and strategic development. This is a very, very brief profile what I have shared with you. The reason is the 25 years of experience what he has, C-level relationship what he has, and he has done his bachelor's of honors from IIT Kharagpur, the oldest IIT in India. And the industries he has invested: preschool, mobile apps, health management, real estate, business, sales, delivery executive, whatnot. So he is a all-rounder with real-time life coach, and evergreen coach. So I would like to request Mr. Navneet Goyal ji, Executive Vice President, Inspire LLC, serial entrepreneur and angel investor, board member and advisor and coach, to kindly enlighten us with his silver lining. And I wish him a golden lining, because he has completed 25 years of his experience in business and management. I wish he completes golden lining and platinum lining as well. Welcome to you, sir, for our 90th year of celebration of Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, Seshasdripuram First Grade College, North Bangalore Science Forum, MentorX Global, for robotics. I ask the participant to kindly mute themselves. Bhumika.
Shantanu sir, you need to unmute yourself. Shantanu sir.
Yes. So North Bangalore Science Forum, MentorX Global, Hover Robotics, Hover Boats, India, RevUp, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi. We welcome you wholeheartedly for this program, the third international event to start with. So welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shantanu. Thanks a lot for such a nice intro. I'm really feeling honored, and I really congratulate all these esteemed organizations on the good work that they are doing and celebrating the 90 years of their establishment. I think with all the things that you told about me, looks like you have set up very high expectation for the audience from me. I'll try to meet up those, but I hope I'll be able to, provide some insight based on my experience. So, hello everyone. I'm sure most of you had some interesting plans for this summer, whether it was for an internship, summer courses, a job, or an exciting vacation with your friends and family. I'm going to be covering slightly a different perspective compared to what you may be hearing from other speakers. So even though the overall theme of this broader platform is more around technology, so instead of focusing on the core technology, I'll try to show how some of these advanced technologies are used for practical application. And this should really help you understand the use cases from day-to-day life when you start developing or designing new tools and products using these technologies. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm going to be talking about such an important aspect of our day-to-day life and how technology plays a role in there. So we are fortunate and thankful to be safe and healthy, courtesy to successful supply chains that continue to provide for our daily needs, whether it be food, sanitation, or medical supplies. Even though the supply chains for patients and essential workers at the forefront of this COVID-19 pandemic, they were under significant stress in the past few months. We must salute all those essential workers, but let's not forget to offer our gratitude to the ones who supported these supply chain operations during such critical times. I have been personally working with many of my clients over past few months who are in food processing industry or developing the COVID-19 testing kits, personal protective equipment, or even high-tech manufacturers who are supporting critical infrastructure to make these kind of online sessions possible. So this clearly shows it's critical for us to understand the breadth and depth of supply chain. And a lot of this was possible with ever-increasing role technology plays in today's ever-increasing globally connected world. I'm fortunate to spend this time with all of you to share my thoughts and will be very interested in learning more as well. So before we go any further, as Dr. Shantanu was describing, here is a brief insight into my background and work I am doing in recent past across various areas, be it like entrepreneurship, angel investing, as well as real estate. And here are some organizations that either me or my team has worked within last 25 years. This represents a very wide range of industries and geographies to help me get some good insights in key supply chain challenges and use of technologies to address them. So let's start with basics. Since we have a very wide audience, so what is supply chain? Supply chain is defined typically as the flow of material, information, money, and services from raw material suppliers through factories and warehouses to end consumer. And what are the key parts of supply chain? This may include consumers, suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, factories, retail stores, or even e-commerce platforms, and many other players that we interact in our daily lives. Think about your courier boy, the Mumbai Dabbawalas, and so on. When we think of a supply chain in traditional sense, we take a very myopic view of immediate players supporting a manufacturer or distributor. But if we take a broader view, you will find several other players supporting a manufacturer or distributor. And they play a very important part in the success of these supply chains. Let's take an example that we all can easily relate to. Most of us over past few years, we end up using the e-commerce platforms to meet our daily needs. Let's say Amazon. With click of a button, we can order our shoes, phones, watches, TV, and many other things on a single platform. With recent acquisition of Swiggy, now you can even order your food to be delivered. Do you know how these things reach you after you click on place your order button? So Amazon has an array of warehouses in different parts of the world, some owned and operated by them, while others by their partners and suppliers. When you place the order, an algorithm Again, think about a technology. An algorithm works in the background to find best way to fulfill your order. This order is then routed to a nearby warehouse where robots and army of people validate, pick, pack, and ship your order. Amazon again finds best mode of shipping to meet their delivery timelines at optimal cost. Once it's shipped from Amazon warehouse, there is a logistics provider, be it UPS, FedEx, DHL, or even our friendly local post office person who receive this product in their storage facility. Then it's shipped via rail, truck, boat, or even air to its destination either directly or a network of warehouse and shippers. Once it arrives at a local facility, a local courier or a postal worker delivers it to you, the final destination. So if you see, there are a number of players that are involved behind the scene you never knew about when you click the button to place the order. Now, do you ever think how Amazon ensures that they had this product available in warehouse near you to deliver it quickly? And that's where there is another set of players like product managers, demand planners, buyers. They play their role. They look at industry trends, your buying history, product selection, and everything else that's critical to make that product available at right place at the right time. Now, based on the example that I gave you, I'm sure you can think of other supply chains in your daily lives. And a lot of normal ones, it's easier to think. But here I'm going to be taking the example of few unusual ones. Think about the currency notes in the ATM. You know, I'm sure all of us remember how this was impacted after the demonetization by Mr. Modi in November 2016. Natural disasters, providing food and shelter during recent cyclones in West Bengal, Odisha, and Mumbai. You know, how about a major earthquake that happened in Uttarakhand a few years ago? I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of National Disaster Relief Force, NDRF. Similarly, supplying food, clothing, arms, and ammunition to our armed forces in remote border areas. And here is a very exciting example of supply chain. Think about a space mission. Think about the challenges supply chain team faced before Chandrayaan or Mangalyaan was launched. You know how much experience they had of supplying equipment good for these exciting conditions. Another very interesting example is of sports teams. We all love watching sports, but providing for an Olympics or cricket team. Think about supplying necessary equipment for an F1 Formula team. These are all examples of supply chain which we don't think in our normal lives, but they come with their own challenges. So these examples show supply chain is critical to the safety, security, and well-being of a country from economic, defense, and strategic perspective. Now let's review some critical areas of supply chain. You know, it starts with a good product design team, which is not only thinking of product usability for the customer, but how it will be manufactured in cost-effective manner with quality components that can be reliably procured. If raw materials have quality issues or constraints in procuring, design changes are made with minimal impact to the usability to build the product optimally. A product may be recalled by the manufacturer or need free repair or replacement if defects are found later. I'm sure many of you might have heard in the recent past, the Boeing 737 MAX, it was put out of service due to some design issues. This area of supply chain is commonly called PLM or product lifecycle management. I'm pretty sure you all can think of using some of the latest technologies in this area. Now, once the product is designed, but before it can be sold, someone needs to find sources for the raw material. To do so, they need to forecast how much of this product may be sold. Why is this important? If we bought too little of this raw material, you may not have enough to meet your customer demand. And this is a lost opportunity if your customer can't find your product to buy, or even worse, they may end up buying from your competitor. On the other hand, if you bought too much, you may be stuck with excess material. Some of the raw material may be perishable, say in food industry, or gets outdated very quickly, say in high-tech industry. Also, your money may be tied up in this excess material, which impacts your ability in other areas. I'm pretty sure we all have heard the term called working capital. This area is commonly referred as supply chain planning. Once again, this area can utilize AI, ML, and a lot of data science to decipher user behavior and demand patterns. The process of purchasing the raw material, manufacturing of finished product, and working through quality processes to make the final product ready for shipment to your customer falls under supply chain execution. And how and where to store this finished good? Does it require any special handling like cold storage? And shipping of this material to customer falls under warehousing and logistics. Now, usually we think about supply chain as supplying of products to the customers. There is another very lucrative area for many companies in maintenance, service, and repair of previously sold products. It is highly profitable area, but it comes with its own set of challenges. You need to have sufficient spare parts and right skilled technicians available before you sign up those maintenance contracts on complex machinery or equipment. Many customers require either free repair or penalties if the equipment is down longer than a certain period or very frequently. Think about the elevator in a building or cranes that are critical for the operation at a port. You can't afford this to be out of service for an extended time. This is called reverse supply chain. And as you can realize, each of these areas can make use of advanced capabilities like AI, ML, data analytics, and even robotics in the warehouse extra. Now, when we think about supply chain, typically we categorize various industries due to common characteristics and challenges. So here are some broad categories, though you will also see some variations in them as well. Now, as I indicated earlier, it's difficult for us to remain oblivious of supply chain anymore since your existence may depend on it. Now, while in the past, we were used to seasonal availability of certain food items, now you can find most fruits and vegetables all year around. This is mainly due to improvements in supply chain, including cold storage facilities, where these items can now be preserved or transported across the globe. Many new fruits and vegetables are available in parts of the world where they are not grown traditionally. Sitting in US, I love those Alfonso mangoes that they weren't available until a few years back. Or think about how many of you remember eating a kiwi fruit during your childhood in India, which is now fairly commonly available. In past, we also used to see price gouging and scarcity of critical food items during crisis. I'm sure most of you will agree that all key food items were reasonably available during past few months with no significant price increases. Even typical seasonal variations are becoming now less significant. All these supply chains have a social impact as well. Not having critical food can lead to social unrest and riots, while good availability of same can improve the social well-being and public health. There are some things we need to be careful though. I'm not sure if you have heard the term called blood diamonds, which is the main cause behind warlords and civil war in many African countries. Similarly, the rare minerals used in mobile phones and other high-tech equipment, it's a contributing factor in current situation in Afghanistan and many other countries. So there are some ethical questions that need to be addressed in these supply chains as well. Once again, you will be able to deploy IoT and blockchain to track and trace the products through its entire supply chain. Even you can use the data analytics to find most optimal way to source the material through your transportation network. So as you see in each part of your supply chain, there are ways you can take advantage of the technology to either make it more efficient or make it more cost effective. With recent focus on supply chain, with President Trump, PM Modi, and every world leader talking about it, this is not something new that was discovered just during the recent pandemic, okay? I want to make sure you understand that. If we look at the history, we are in what we call as fourth generation of supply chain now. Besides the ancient supply chain where everything was done very locally, the first generation started with the Industrial Revolution in mid-late 18th century. Then, after about 150 years, Henry Ford pioneered the assembly line and mass production. This took it to new direction and expanded it significantly. With the invention of computers and internet in later part of 20th century, it was a game changer. Suddenly new frontiers were achieved with global supply chains. In last decade or two, from the start of 21st century, we are now entering what's usually referred as Industry 4.0. Use of newer technologies ample and widespread internet connectivity, it can transform the supply chain significantly. So what does all this signify? Supply chains are dynamic. They are ever changing. As most of you will join the industry in near future, we should question current practices and look for new trends. Many things we are so used to and can't assume a world without them can be changed or completely replaced. You know, if you don't believe this, talk to the taxiwala or auto rickshaw guy who had never heard about Uber or Ola until about a few years ago. So as you can see, each of these supply chain generations were driven due to technological improvements and its usage in supply chain. Can you think of how today's supply chains can be further enhanced or transformed with latest technology which may still be under development or that may develop in next few decades? So I think we are quite familiar with the first three generations of supply chain. So let's focus on Industry 4.0. So there are some critical challenges we are encountering in this global interconnected world. How do you ensure our food supply or medicines aren't compromised? With recent cases of food infections and pandemics, it's critical to maintain the integrity of supply chain. Also, to deal with issues like blood diamonds and warlords trying to control mining of rare minerals, traceability of products through entire supply chain is important. Many of these products require controlled environments like temperature or pressure to ensure that the Ebola vaccine remains effective by the time it reaches the end consumer. So how can we do that? So we have been talking about IoT and blockchain. IoT and blockchain could be game changer to provide this capability. They can track and trace the products through including what conditions it went through. This can be helpful to ensure food is safe and medicine still remains effective. So far we have been mostly reactive to supply chain disruptions. When machines in a factory breaks down or a crane at a port suffers malfunction, it's not only a safety hazard, but it can lead to loss of productivity, revenue, margins, and customer satisfaction. With pattern recognition, including AI and ML, can we predict reliably before even the machine breaks down? Are there patterns in terms of temperature, pressure, vibration that can be sensed in time for preventive maintenance? I remember back in India, if my motorbike used to make some different kind of a sound, my mechanic was able to say, hey, it's going to break very soon, so you need to get it fixed. Why can't AI ML replace that tribal knowledge of that mechanic? This can lead to self-correcting supply chains. When such patterns indicate an anomaly, who would like to get stuck in an elevator? Can we prevent it by knowing well in advance to address the malfunction? Now, with the recent pandemic, it has made us well aware of criticality of supply chains and how it can be impacted with such events. To provide a better perspective, here are some key events from past 2 decades. Some of them had more global impacts, while others were more regional in nature. I'm pretty sure you can think of other similar events that impacted supply chains locally in your city, in your state, or even in your country. Some of these may be unplanned, while there are other planned events which cause a significant impact to supply chain. Imagine local political, religious, and social events. How about a transport strike? You know, when large processions bring a city to standstill, a domino effect can take several days and weeks for supply chains to recover. I'm sure we all have seen, maybe not this year, but in the past, large Ganesh Visarjan events in Mumbai and similar other events in other parts of the country. Similarly, large events like Olympics, World Cup, or even elections can also impact these supply chains, though you can plan around them because you know them in advance. While many of us think of these as challenges, I feel each one of this shows us opportunity to utilize latest technology to overcome the risk to the supply chain. Can we quickly reroute the material during transit if we detect some anomalies due to transportation network disruption? How can we ensure better monitoring and corrective action for food and medicine supplies if such transportation failure may cause delays that can spoil them unless they are kept in a controlled environment? can we ensure every diamond or rare mineral sold anywhere in the world can be fully traced back to its point of origin, such that no warlord or other criminal elements can play a role in it? You know, as we start to think about risk to supply chain, these are the broader categories. Think about a sudden spike in demand due to weather can stress the supply chain significantly. With recent pandemic, the demand for non-essential items dropped significantly, while essential items, they just went through the roof. You know, you wouldn't believe probably, Maruti sold exactly 0 cars in the month of April. How many of you knew about hand sanitizer or bought one before the pandemic? You know, I was working with an e-commerce company in US, mostly dealing in beauty and healthcare products. While talking to them about their demand forecasting, they mentioned something called O factor. I wasn't quite sure what that meant. So I asked the head of supply chain. What he told me was quite interesting, but real. If a specific product was mentioned by Oprah Winfrey on her TV show, they saw a huge spike in its demand. You know, how can you forecast for such a demand variation? Similarly, constraint on supply can create domino effect. Think about tsunami in Japan or a major rainstorm in Mumbai. How does it affect the supply chains? What about an industrial strike or breakdown in a large factory? You know, usually there's some elasticity in the overall system to buffer for smaller events, but larger events can cause shortages and price increases. Now, what about the supply chain network itself? If the transportation network is compromised, there is a long-lasting impact on supply chain. In late 1980s, my dad was stationed in Ladakh. He told me that the banks, they stock up on currency notes before winter starts to deal with supply blockades by snowfall. They still needed to meet the local demand even during the winters. Now, again, technology might be a savior over here. I hope this is no longer an issue and everybody uses Paytm and other e-wallets. So similarly, quality issues may also impact supply chains. There were recent incidents when they found infections in vegetables which can be fatal if eaten without precaution. Also, regulatory actions can also be critical. When regulators decided to ground all Boeing 737 MAX planes, overall air traffic was at its historic high. All those grounded planes resulted in cancelled flights, disruption in air travel, lost vacations, cancelled business meetings, and significant overall impact to Boeing itself, airlines, and common people across the globe. Let me take an example which may be more closer to some of you folks in India. Did you notice an impact when GST was rolled out in recent past? How do you assess the impact of your competitor coming out with most cool product? Or a price change, either your competitor reducing the price or your price going up. In today's competitive world, each company is under pressure for new and innovative products while optimizing the costs. So supply chain teams are always on the hook to improve the bottom line. How can you use these latest technologies to mitigate some of these risks or even help these companies improve their top and bottom lines? So how do you deal with these risks? First, you need to understand who are your key stakeholders. And this is very important since each stakeholder may have a different strategy to address their needs. And don't confuse the stakeholders as customers. There can be other stakeholders that need to be cared for, like your employees, your key suppliers, or even your community. All of these contribute to your success, and working closely with them may help you deal with these risks more successfully with better outcomes. Let's take an example. Employees, if you treat them well, they may work tirelessly during a crisis to ensure that business can continue to operate or meet the production goals. Similarly, don't you want your suppliers to prioritize your needs, or you can treat them poorly only to find they missed your order? Similarly, if you care for the community you serve, they will patronize your business rather than your competitor. You know, also I'm noticing a very recent phenomena. the data is becoming critical in today's world. Having visibility to key aspects of your products, raw material, production status, it can be critical in making the right decisions. Are there alternate sources where you can purchase the raw material in critical situation? So a few things that you may want to consider when you talk about data is, how frequently do you need this data? How can you make sure you have access to this data in a reliable manner? And last but not the least, how accurate is this data? And please note, some of this data may be coming from your suppliers or distributors. So it's important that you treat them well. Are they willing to share this with you? Should you establish agreements for this data before the crisis hits? Are there technological solutions to deal with these challenges? How can each one of you help these companies make more effective decisions quickly and ensure those decisions are implemented effectively? Now, we always hear this term called resilient supply chain. So how do you ensure the resiliency in your supply chain? Did you ever think how different parts in your supply chain will interact in case of a crisis? What if scenarios? You need to make sure that you can do some what if scenario planning and action plan based on stress testing of your supply chain before a crisis hits. It can be a key difference in your ability to survive in a crisis. So the outcome of such stress testing will provide you key insights on areas you need to focus for mitigation. Is there a critical supplier whose failure can lead you to ruins? Can the technology be used to run these what if scenarios quickly to be more flexible and resilient? So let me give you an example of supply chain risk. During the tsunami days, I was trying to purchase a simple laptop, nothing fancy or high-end. I called up Dell and they told me it will take 4 weeks, which usually takes about a week at the most. I called up HP and found the same answer. I then called up Lenovo, which used to be IBM during those days, and I was surprised with similar answer. This got me thinking what's going on. So while I was talking with the sales rep, he mentioned a shortage of some critical part which is causing the delay. You know, as I learned more, you'll be surprised what I found. If you look at all of your laptops, there is a small hinge or a spring that holds the laptop screen to its base. Over many decades of outsourcing, all suppliers for this small insignificant part, they were all concentrated in the part of Thailand that was most impacted with the tsunami. So this was a single point of failure in supply chains for worldwide laptop manufacturers. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be stuck in this kind of a situation. So if you don't want to be stuck in this kind of a situation, you better understand such critical failure points and plan for the alternate sources. What options do you have to use during a crisis? One option is to bring production of a key component in-house. Can you make some changes to your production process to make one of those components yourself? And again, when you're making those changes, technology plays an important role. Now, it's great to know your options, but some of these options may have higher cost. It may have difference in quality or need changes in your production process by itself. If you didn't prepare for this, you'll be surprised when you are in a crisis. How does such alternate options impact your profit and margins? Would you need additional capital for these machines or additional labor to deal with such changes? Does it require additional efforts for quality or environmental clearances? And moreover, these changes may have regulatory, legal, or tax implications. Now, a key area for supply chain in post-COVID world will be use of technology in supply chain. Again, as I have been mentioning again and again, technology has been a great enabler in the supply chain transformation over past hundreds of years. Many companies started to use cloud-based technologies to minimize the downtime and ensuring high availability of systems critical for their success. There are other key areas that can be further strengthened by use of advanced technologies. Many companies, they are experimenting with delivery using drone. You know, this could have been a game changer if this was widely available prior to COVID-related lockdown. You could have been sitting at home and getting all your necessities delivered through drone. AI ML can significantly improve your ability for predictive analysis, both in terms of understanding customer behavior and to find areas of stress in your supply chain before they cause critical failure. IoT, Internet of Things, it's expected to be used for contact tracing. With sensors and communication technology becoming highly cost effective, IoT can be used to monitor equipment deployed in customer locations or remote areas for better servicing. Blockchain may be also a game changer for supply chain integrity. By using a common shared record keeping, which cannot be compromised, you can ensure end-to-end tracing of all components through entire network. Think about, can it help us solve complex social ills like blood diamonds or help putting those African warlords out of business? So there are several emerging technologies which can make significant impact in increased efficiency and continuity of supply chain during critical times. Can each of you think of other advanced technologies that can be used for making supply chains more efficient? So when you think about this, technologies, technology is not an end in itself. Technology is always a means to an end. So many of you must be thinking why you should learn about the supply chain. So let's review why these topics we discussed today are relevant for you. So at the least, we all will be a consumer for whom a well-working supply chain is critical for availability of your day-to-day necessities. If you go beyond that, some of the technology you may learn, it may end up being used in some of these supply chain areas, either directly or via a product or tool to help improve the efficiency and reduce the risk. Next time you're working on your dream project or thinking about future career, I hope you will have some more options to look forward to now. So let's think how next generation of supply chain will be different. We talked about, first, second, third generation industry 4.0. How is going to be the next generation different? So visibility across your supply chain will be critical for your success. Investment in technologies and business processes to improve such visibility is an area that we all must pay attention to. This can also open up many career opportunities for you. So think about, can you come up with products and services to help companies do a better job in what-if simulations? It's important to take a comprehensive view of supply chain when you are thinking of that. So this analysis simulation can make the supply chains more responsive. That means when a change occurs anywhere in your supply chain, how quickly can you react to that? It can help improve your top line as well as bottom line with better profit margins. Similarly, all companies will need to look at the financial impact of any supply chain changes to be successful. Incomplete or inaccurate information or lack of understanding how it impacts your capital or finances, it could be fatal. So how does COVID impact some of the key supply chain areas? How do you get a better forecast on your product demand? Which products will sell better in urban versus rural areas? Online versus retail stores? Are there events with significant impact on the demand patterns? How can you help companies plan for such demand changes? The key to success will be analytics and visibility in each area of supply chain. The players with better visibility will have a greater chance to survive these kind of disruptions, while the ones who don't focus on this visibility will not survive too long. How can you improve the visibility or better come up with tools or services to help with this in your career? So coming to it, why did I choose to present this topic? As you work through your education and pursue your career options, I want you to know some key observation recent research found. And you may want to pay real close attention to what I'm going to say now. Up to 50% of today's jobs will not exist in next 20 years. And up to 50% of jobs available in next 20 years, they don't exist today. Think about both these statements once again. Think deeply about them, about these observations, especially as you prepare for your future careers. You are dealing with this uncertainty where you don't know what jobs you are preparing for, since most of those jobs don't exist today. So you have no role models and no clear path to these jobs. How do you deal with this anxiety and ambiguity? It's critical you work on how to learn rather than specific subjects. In today's world, you need to continue to learn constantly. The jobs and skills will continue to evolve. Some of the learning will be formal in a college or an institute, but most will be on your own initiative and not reflected by a degree or certificate. You may learn a new computer language, a new technology. You may start a new business, develop a new product, or change your career to follow one of your passions. Don't limit yourself to same trade or career where you start your first job. Think broad and think outside the box. So many industries will go through changes. Some of them may be incremental to be more efficient or provide better services, but unfortunately, many industries will deal with a disruptive player. Think of Amazon, which completely changed the retail, or Ola, Uber, Zomato, and others you saw in recent years. Think about, are there industries you think are ready for disruption? Do you think the current players in those industries can lead a disruption? Usually disruption comes from outside. Why? Because the inherent interests, they limit the current players to make incremental changes only. So what's the key behind success of these disruptive players? They focused on one most important aspect, which is the customer. What does customer want? What makes their life easier? What's the problem that needs a solution? Technology, as I mentioned earlier, it was just the enabler. So you can focus on technology, but at the end of the day, if the technology does not lead to making the customer's life easier, there have been a lot of examples of great technology not going anywhere because they could not find a killer application that made the people's life easier. So you have to focus on the customer. That is the key to success. I recollect when making a train reservation took several hours, if not days, during my college days. So think about, is there an area in your daily life that needs transformation? I hope some of you can lead such disruption in near future. I'll leave you all with this thought for now. And thanks so much for your patience through this whole conversation. With that, Dr. Shantanu, I really appreciate the time you have given me. And if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to take.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So I request the participants to kindly put the questions in the chat box if you have. We are indeed privileged and blessed to listen Navneet Goyalji, who has so beautifully, in a crispy way, in a nutshell, he has explained all the details, how either a blockchain, either investment, either serial entrepreneur, leading, guiding various companies. And the first two slides, what he has shown itself signifies how deep-rooted he is, that he or his company has worked in or the so many organizations. So here I could see, Nancy, my incredible insights it is. Then most of them are really mesmerized by the way you have presented. So really we'd like to request, once this lockdown gets over and when the student starts visiting our institute, we'll have the interaction with you, Munish ji, as well as Nancy madam, to make people, usually they take it lots of time to think of how to become an entrepreneur. And in front of us, we are hearing a person who is a serial entrepreneur. So that's really incredible. In fact, I'd like to quote here one word that one of our alumni or alumnus, two are there, Gururaj Deshpande, who is in US. He used to be our alumni and he has in MIT as well as in IIT Chennai. He and his son are now becoming serial entrepreneurs. Then B.V. Jagdish, he is also our alumni of Seshasdripuram group of institution. So why I quote those two, when two students of us, ours can do that, why not the rest? They can think of doing something beyond, instead of thinking of to become an employee, you can become an employer. Think of big, you will achieve definitely. So with this simple note, I'd like to thank wholeheartedly our Navneet Goyalji, Executive Vice President, Inspirage LLC, Serial Entrepreneur and Angel Investor Board Member, on behalf of Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, North Bangalore Science Forum, Mentor X Global, Hover Robotics, Hover Boats, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, for taking out his precious time in the late night and addressing us at India for such a third important international conference on confluence of technologies. Thank you, sir. Thank you wholeheartedly for your kind acceptance of our invitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shantanu, and thanks, Dr. Manish and Dr. Nancy Juneja, for having me here. It was my pleasure, and I look forward to having more opportunities to engage with your team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Nancy, madam.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you understood my lip moment. I was not able to unmute myself. I'll say if Navneet sir is there, I would love to thanks to him from the bottom of my heart. As I just heard, as he said, though so well profound in technology, he just said that, somehow technology is just an enabler. Very rightly said, and it all depends upon the skills the human being is making themselves efficient for. And unless and until we ourselves increase our capacity, as I read in chat also, that this presentation is helping them to become the new them, discover the new them in them. So definitely technology, howsoever we are shifting from the first, second, third, fourth industry revolution, it is just an enabler. What matters is the human potential, and we have to be the lifelong learner so that we can hone our skills day and out. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was indeed
That's
good to listen to Navneet.
Wonderful note from Dr. Nancy Juneja, who herself is an enabler of the ecosystem. The way technology is providing an enabling platform to all of us, Dr. Nancy Juneja is an enabler for the entire ecosystem, making things happen through her MentorX platform, existing in 32 countries, touching lives of 2 million people directly, with a vision to touch lives of 8 billion people. So if we have Mr. Navneet Goyal, I would love to see him just quickly on a camera and express my gratitude. Thank you, Navneet Goyal, sir, for coming up and sharing your thought process, your expertise, and the way you explained the O factor and the domino effect on this logistics chain globally, and as well as the resilience in the logistics. Though I belong to a product line as well, we are the manufacturers of hoverboards. Through the Hover Robotics Hoverboards India, we are the pioneers of hoverboards in India, and I do understand logistics because we have tie-up with 252 courier companies. We are covering each and every pin code in India, and I do understand if there is a disruption in one place, how it affects the entire global supply chain. So thank you for being with us. And now, wow, who we have, guys?
Dr. Gulshan Sharma.
Wow, Dr. Gulshan, can we see you on the camera, please? It's lights, camera, action, sir. Let's have our director journals take away on the camera. Wow. Here he is, the man himself, the man of the morning, the man of the day, the man of the decade, and the man of the century. Wonderful to see you. Today you're giving more of a look of Chacha Nehru. I'm being honest.
I was about to say that.
Yes, I can see that red pocket square is looking like a rose, and wow, wonderful. So he is the catalyst. He is the catalyst behind making education relevant. The Director General, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, NRIs, corporates, government interface. Wow, what a man. The more I try to know him, the more mysterious he is. I'm being true. The more I talk to him, the more mysterious he becomes. Usually you say, the more I talk to you, the more I get to know you, but more I talk to this gentleman, more mysterious he becomes. He's been a thorough gentleman, and we are connected on a wonderful note. He has always been very kind to me, and the utmost love, the utmost respect and regard I hold for him. With both my hands folded, I welcome to him at this platform. The soul within me honors the soul within him. I'm not even a fraction of him, and whenever he's around, he radiates the aura and the kind of expertise, the knowledge, intellect he possesses. Even if we can get the Einstein used, I think 0.02% of his brain. So even if we can get 0.002% of this gentleman's intellect, it is going to take us a long way, long way. And he loves to spread happiness. The more I'm going to talk, then today what we're going to do is we won't be able to listen to him. I will just keep on talking about him, talking about him. So before that, I do that. A very warm welcome to the platform. Thank you. And we have Dr. Nancy Juneja here, sir, with us. She is the visionary behind MentorX. She's the one who envisioned that we should bring MentorX with the vision to educate, to empower, and elevate. It happened last year, and now with under her able leadership, we are flourishing 32 countries. We're directly touching the lives of 2 million people, and her vision is 200 countries by 2022, touching lives of 8 billion people. And today, this confluence of technologies, whereby artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, nanotechnology, biotechnology, humanoids, cryptocurrency, blockchain, IoT, quantum mechanics, and cybersecurity has all been possible with the visionary like Dr. Shantanu Das from Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Newtown, Yelahanka, Bangalore. Seshasdripuram First Grade College is being run by Seshasdripuram Educational Trust. It's a 90-year-old trust. They are celebrating their 90 years. It's been 9 decades. They are here, and we together envisioned this, that let's make it happen. Let's not keep the intellect or experience that we have with us. And so we thought, who could be the better person? None other than Dr. Gulshan Sharma. And guys, don't go after his white hair. If his white hair are making him look 50 years old, trust me, he holds the experience of more than 5,000 years. More than 5,000 years. He could be even older than Nalanda when we talk, right? So I pass on the podium to Dr. Nancy. Let's hear a quick few words from you. Then over to you, Dr. Professor Shantanu Das.
Wow, on a sunny morning here in Delhi, Bangalore, and all the hook and hook part of the world the people have joined us for. It is amazing to see the cheerful face of Gulshanji. I'll say whatever Dr. Jindal said, it is just, pearls from his wisdom. But the man here sitting in front of us is definitely earning each and every word that we can say on this platform. I do remember when Sir gave me, his podium to come at his platform. He just told me that, Nancy, मैं इंडिया को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना चाहता हूँ, and मुझे ऐसे एजुकेशनिस्ट से मिलाओ जो कुछ कर रहे हैं. It gave me goosebumps. जो कुछ कर रहे हैं, बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, बट मुझे ऐसे एजुकेशनिस्ट से कराओ जिनमें विजन है, जिनमें मिशन है. And sir, I would love to tell you, heartiest welcome on this platform. But the way we started our first talk, आत्मनिर्भर भारत की ओर मूव करने के लिए, this is the fleet of the people I always wanted to introduce you, and you're here. These are the worthy educationists from the entire management of Seshasdripuram Group of Institute, MentorX team, and all the institute who have supported this global conference. Once you go deep within, after this conference, you will know who are the gems here. We are just, I'll say small fish in the big ocean that you are swimming since a long time. And I'll say much to learn from you, the way you've been spreading smiles. We look forward to your session now. Sorry. So, see, to speak about you, it takes enough courage that only Dr. Jindal has. Over to Shantanu sir now to carry forward.
Yeah. You please take water.
Take water.
Take water. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Munish, Dr. Nancy. So in fact, it is the brainchild of this conference is the Confluence of Technology brainchild of 3 different but one soul, I could tell. It's Munish, Dr. Nancy, and Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, 90 years. So these three entities together in three different parts, Ludhiana, Bangalore, and Delhi. And it became one soul. That's how we could see 22 speakers with lot of expertise like you. So I always get inspired when I think of Nalanda. And Munish, he has rightly introduced me to a person whose experience is bigger than Nalanda. Okay, so before going ahead with, I'd like to introduce Dr. Gulshan Sarmaji, the Director General, ICSI, International Chamber of Service Industry. So the word ICSI, I misled to Institute of Company Secretaries initially. Later on, when I read through, no, it is International Chamber for Service. So now I can think from India, you have gone abroad, no? So I can't speak anything more there. Then ICSI dedicated to market research, policy advocacy, innovative strategies, consultancy and training since 1994. So the way you are doing for ICSI, our Seshasdripuram is one of the institute of 90-year-old organization is our campus, which was established in 1992. Initially started with Punjabi Pravasi Divas and later from 2003 onwards with the Bharatiya Pravasi Divas. And I think 2 years back, we have seen how Prime Minister of India has taken to Pravasi Divas. ICSI has a global network think tank for service industry research, innovation, technology, future strategies, predictions, and recommendations. Presently, ICSI is totally focused on making education relevant globally with all stakeholders, educators, counselors, skills and competency providers, corporate technocrats, administrators, future strategists, and motivators to develop the global roadmap. What's the purpose of education? Country-specific cultural, social, moral, ethical, spiritual factors are also considered. And I don't know how I would thank Dr. Munish and Nancy. Munishji, I call him my little cute brother. He has connected to me such a wonderful person because I keep on speaking because I am a science man, biotechnologist and environmentalist. I keep on telling compassionate, empathy, and humanity, these key words and Indian traditional value systems age going route to Nalanda, and I am seeing one living legend here in front of me. ICSI has conceptualized, developed, and initiated India's first technology finishing school for empowering educators and youth for service industry. And I do take the privilege and courage to request you the word finishing school, right? In Bangalore, we have BT finishing schools, and we had been trying to do that, but due to certain reasons couldn't happen. Now with Munish, Nancy, and yourself, I do definitely have the courage that Seshasdripuram North Bangalore Science Forum will be one of the finishing school, not only for BT, IT, different confluence of technologies, because 20 years down the lane, I had been requesting to all the stakeholders, please join together to create such an education which is worthy enough. So therefore, Dr. Gulshan Sarma holds his PhD in service industry, focus on service industry, education, teachers, and youth empowerment. Before joining ICSI Chamber, Dr. Sharma was with Ministry of Tourism, Government of India with till 1993, where he set up India's first Institute for Travel and Tourism, IITM, and developed MBA Tourism for India. Over to you, sir. Without taking much of time, I request you to kindly enchant us with your magical words.
Wishing you all a great afternoon. It's post-lunch, almost going to be about 2:40 in the afternoon in Singapore. So I extend a very warm welcome to all my fellow Indians, brothers and sisters, those are right over there. I send you my warm greetings from Singapore. I send my best wishes to this particular program. And today being on the third day, let me share first of all, before starting my vision and sharing my vision, Dr. Munish Jindal has got some charisma. And of course, along with him, my little child, Dr. Nancy Juneja, they are doing remarkable work. And when I heard the other day, Dr. Munish, every slide, every frame which he shared, that passed through his passion, his vision, his mission, his dedication, his devotion, and everything. You know, it is no more communication nowadays. Forget about communication. When we talk about communication, it is no more communication. It is called connecting. Communication has gone in the cold storage now. It is connecting. And when you talk about connecting, ladies and gentlemen, when I teach for about 2 months in America, 2 months in Australia, 2 months in Canada, and when I spend time over there, because when I go around meeting all my non-resident Indians, friends, my brothers, my sisters, those are world over spread now. 30 million people are there. And since 1994, I have been going across. I never stay in a hotel, I stay with them. I never eat outside, I eat with them. I live like a family, and I want to get the fragrance of what exactly the true Indians are doing abroad. Either they are doing their own business or they're generating business for somebody else. What economic multiplier they are doing. Now, whatever I get in learning or earning over there, that money I don't bring back to India. I always join some training program over there as a student, and I want to learn. I want to learn something new. And I pray to Almighty, there could not be a better departure than which late Abdul Kalam ji had, where you are sharing the information and your vision with the younger generation, which is tomorrow. And from there, you go back to the Almighty and to the soul, where from you have come into this universe. Ye vani bhi kisi ki hai. This voice belongs to somebody. This body belongs to somebody. This spirit belongs to somebody. Who I am, I do not know. Because there's something very interesting when he mentioned about Nalanda, I wish to share. During this pandemic, there was so much of a time to go through and to read through the literature of Nalanda, to watch the videos and everything and all. And couple of vice chancellors, when I met, those are associated, deeply associated, and they have done so much of work on Nalanda. They told me 10,000 youth from 32 countries, 2,000 acharyas, those were teaching over there, where the education was free, living was free, boarding and lodging was free, library, research, everything. You name a subject on this planet, it was available in Nalanda University. And the crux of the whole thing, which is to understood, and I laughed and laughed for days together like a small child at the age of 70. I am 70, but I carry the energy of that 20-year-old boy because I think that way. And you know what was the secret of Nalanda? It's a work you must go through. You must learn. Darban, the security guard, the person who used to stand over there, they used to conduct your first interview. And one of the boy, he came from Turkey, and one boy came from Mongolia. They both were good friends. They stood over there, and this Darban asked them, okay, आपका आज पहला इंटरव्यू है, मुझे बताइए आप कौन हैं, अपने बारे में बताइए. So both of them, they started looking towards each other, and then they told that Darban, sir, हम यही तो पता करने आए हैं. Who am I? मुझे नहीं पता है मैं कौन हूं. मैं इस नालंदा में यही जानने आया हूं. So ladies and gentlemen, when I walked this planet for 70 years, I'm trying to know, I'm trying to understand, who am I? What is my wajud? What is my existence? My existence is insignificant. If that person who has created this universe, this nature, and this humanity, if he wishes, the next moment he can take away my voice. The next moment he can take my life and my breath. So thereby, जिस कुर्सी पर मैं बैठा हूं, ये कुर्सी मुझे देखकर हंसती है और कहती है, इस कुर्सी पर तुमसे पहले हजारों आए थे और तुम्हारे बाद भी हजारों आएंगे. तुम्हारा क्या एग्जिस्टेंस है? Who the hell are you? What are you proud of? Why are you so egoistic? So ladies and gentlemen, the first mantra, whatsoever it is, the so many names he gave in the new technology, innovative technology, innovation, everything Dr. Manish Jindal gave. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost thing is, let's understand, who am I? I do not know. Now, my topic, which I requested Dr. Manish, I'll take it very interesting way. I'll flip through some of the slides. But before I go on that, it's something very interesting. Every boy and a girl want to run away from India. They want to go abroad. When you take my beautiful state in India, which belongs to, when I look back, Punjab, okay, and from there, everybody and every boy, young boy feels, I will go to America. The moment I land over there, Donald Trump will come at the airport. He will spread the red carpet. He'll come with his young grown-up daughter, and he would say, my son-in-law, you have come. Please take over America. You are my wonderful son-in-law. Please look after America. Look after my daughter. Take care of everything. After 1 week, he's filling petrol at the gas station. He's working in a restaurant. He doesn't know why he has gone there. By the time the reality starts, because I'm dealing with the first generation, second generation, third generation, and the fourth generation of non-resident Indians. Some of them, they want to come back to India. They want to reach back India, but the circumstances are not allowing them to come back to India. Their children are born there. Their grandchildren are born over there. They do not know anything about India. That's why always the Ministry of External Affairs, the government of India and the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and everybody talks linking with the roots. What exactly is the roots? They do not know what is the roots. They do not know where grandfather was born, which particular village he was living. Dr. Munish Jindal, he went all the way from Ludhiana to Australia. He went all the way to America. He went to a couple of countries. He's doing this particular program. Either he's mad or I'm mad. We both are mad. And the third mad person in the gold triangle is Dr. Nancy Juneja. We three pagals have got together and we have started thinking how to turn the humanity, how to empower the humanity, how to transform the humanity. I pinched sometime myself. My father was in army. My grandfather was in army. I also joined army. And when I was reading through the brochure, I remembered this morning and you took me in my memory lane back in 1971 when I saw Yalanka, when I saw the Air Force Station. I went to Jalali East, Jalali West, and right standing at the Bangalore railway station and right in front, the cinema hall, Sangam Picture Hall, there was a movie of Dharmendra called Yadon Ki Bharat. Going a little further down, you've got Majestic Circle. Going a little further down, Elite Restaurant where South Indian food. Going a little down, there are three beautiful theaters, Nartaki, Santosh, and Alankar, and a small child watching the movies over there from the Indian Army and the armed forces. I have got great memories and great linkage and great emotions because you can never forget when you step out of your home. But well, destiny had something else in the storage, and that's what I'm going to share with all of you. Sometimes you become in life what you want to become. Sometimes you become in life, you do not know how you have become. And sometimes you become in life, you even come to know you have become, but you do not know what you're doing. So ladies and gentlemen, the durbhagya, the unfortunate part, and the tragedy of the entire story is some of us are educators by choice. Some of us are educators by circumstances. Some of us are educators accidentally. Some of us are, one step ahead because my friend took admission in one class. So I just thought, okay, fine, let's take admission. And the final tragedy is, if I cannot get any job, at least make me ad hoc teacher. If you have the ad hoc teachers, what do you expect from the education? How the education can be empowered? You bring any technology, you bring any change, you empower anyway. But unless you do not get the glory, once again, what the Acharya enjoyed in Nalanda, in Takshila, the education system cannot be transformed or cannot be changed. When I travel abroad, so what I'm sharing now with, I ran away from the studies and joined army because I never wanted to study after 11th class. And when I got into the army, I was so happy that I will retire now as a lieutenant general with a good health and good wealth and everything fine, neat, clean, honesty and dignified job with a lot of integrity. And when I will hold a rank of a lieutenant general of the Indian Army, nothing, there is no patch and there is no match to that. But destiny had something else in storage. After 8 years, I became casualty. My medical category was down and I didn't know what to do. Now there was a problem for me because I cannot go beyond major. And thereafter, I got to have a diversification in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I managed 5-year posting. And when I went as a staff major, military attaché, I wanted to take admission because now I wanted to study, but I never wanted to study. So there was a problem, there was a difficulty. I went to the university. I met the head of the department for international studies and I told him, excuse me. He said, yes. I said, is there any subject where you have not to study? He looked at me from the top to bottom and he laughed. He says, this man is mad. And I knew that I'm mad because I didn't want to study. He says, you come tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I said, okay. That night, I thought about Dr. Munish Jindal in my dreams. And I said, he'll give me artificial intelligence. He'll give me augmented reality. He'll give me whatsoever is possible in the technology. And ladies and gentlemen, next morning, I was so inquisitive. I was so curious. He gave me 10 o'clock time. I reached 9 o'clock only. So he saw me sitting outside. He called me inside. I said, tell me, what is the subject where I'm not to study? It's very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. He told me, there's one subject where you have not to study. I said, tell me fast. I cannot hold my temptation because I don't want to study. I bloody got into the army because I never wanted to study. He said, okay, there is one subject called holiday and leisure tourism. The sound itself is so good. It's so scintillating and soothing. And it gives so much of solace to your soul. Holiday and leisure tourism. In Punjab, in India, they call it Sair Sapata department. That means only roaming around and going to the places and all that. It's a very funny name. I don't know why have they given that name. And what do you call it in Karnataka? I don't know about it. But it's called Sair Sapata. That means roaming around, going around and all. Ladies and gentlemen, as a Lieutenant General, I might have seen only 10 countries. But the destiny had something else in the storage. There used to be a very big newspaper that's called Employment News. I still recollect. How many pages were there? I don't know. You will get into the bloody ocean of that particular newspaper when you start reading. In one of the corner, it was written, if anybody holds a PhD in tourism and service industry, you can come on deputation to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. I couldn't sleep that day. I ran around. I found out everything, cleared the UPSC, and every time praying all the God and goddesses. I didn't leave any God, whether south, north, east, west, central of India, any God on this remember planet. I thought I'm ready to remember any God, but I want to go on deputation. I moved on deputation to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. And having reached over there, I pinched myself. Is it happening? Is it really happening? The person who didn't want to do higher secondary, he moved as a director and he's going to set up the National Institute of Tourism. And he has done his master's and PhD also in tourism and service industry. Oh my God. And then given the responsibility for setting up MBA tourism for India, got all the treasures from the world over, all the syllabi and all the curriculum, 45 countries, and synthesized and everything. We are very good at cut and paste in India because no original research is required. We are very good. So innovation is, you give me one thing and I can purchase and I can create. Because where the Dr. Munish Jindal belongs to, they can create a duplicate part for you within the next 2 hours and you will not come to know which is original, which is duplicate. That is so smart people, those are there in Ludhiana. So when I looked at that, I just went through, but it gave me a task. I had to go through 45 different countries' MBA tourism syllabi. And when I gone through, the MBA tourism started in India. Oh my God, I pinched myself. New institution under Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, known as IITTM. And then one fine morning, the Adjutant General of the Indian Army, he called me. He says, Gulshan, come here. I said, yes, sir. He says, you are on deputation to the tourism? Yes. We can call you back anytime. I said, sir, please don't call because I'm very happy over there. He says, if you don't want to be called back, you should do something for the army also. I said, tell me, sir, I will turn heaven upside down. What can I do for the army? He says, we are having lots of difficulty. We don't have a hotel management institute for army. Do something. I still recollect in Bangalore, in ASC Center, he gave me 4 rooms and I borrowed the services of one retired major from Bangalore. He was the person from the ASC because they deal into supply army rations and everything. I said, there's no difference between supplying army rations and hospitality industry. Don't worry. Like nowadays, there is no difference between a 5-star hospital and 5-star hotel. There is no difference except doctors and patients. So from those 4 rooms, ladies and gentlemen, I set up for the Indian Army, the first institute for tourism, for the hotel management. And I have recollected, somebody told me last week that there is a full-fledged hotel management institute of the Army now in Bangalore for the Indian Army, where 4,000 students are there. So ladies and gentlemen, small baby steps. What Dr. Manish Jindal and Nancy is doing, these are the baby steps what they are taking. They are trying to collect the whole universe together. They are trying to get all the expertise together. मैं अकेला ही चला था जानबे मंजिल, लोग आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. People will join you. You start any campaign, you start any mission, you start anything, the people will come when your intentions are good. Now talking about the finishing school, what you told me, I'll tell you quickly. What exactly is the finishing school? It took a lot of time for me, first of all, to explain the finishing school. In Delhi, in Rajouri Garden, Raja Garden, Punjabi Bagh, Tilak Nagar, Subhash Nagar, Ashok Nagar, and some other nagars are there. I don't know what nagars are there. So Punjabi boys and girls, they wanted to improve their personality. Earlier, it was a shame if your child was going for some tuition. But nowadays, parents take privilege and they take proud. My child has gone for coaching to Kota. Arre, what a shame if your child has gone for extra coaching. It means your child is poor in studies. That's why they have gone for coaching. So personality development was the concept which was thought of. When we talk about personality development, after a few days, parents told, no, people are asking a lot of questions. Personality development doesn't sound good in English. So we changed the coin. We told personality enhancement. Oh, it sounds better. After a few days, they said, people are not understanding what is personality enhancement. I said, okay, let's change the word. We started calling it soft skills. Oh, beautiful, soft skills. Skills. They said, no. Skills is again, you're talking about improvement. Okay, competencies, soft competencies. This sounds very good from the Oxford Dictionary, and take out the word from there, something very good. So what are the hard competencies? So that Munish will tell from the artificial intelligence and augmented reality and whatsoever he is producing and manufacturing nowadays, that was taken. So ladies and gentlemen, slowly and gradually, etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, communication, articulation, convincing, connecting. The highest paid person world over today is who started his career with $5. And he's a chancellor of the 3 universities in America today. His name is Nido Chubain. Ladies and gentlemen, this name, I want to give it to you. All the youngsters, those want to talk like me, you should know the name of the person who is paid 30 lakh of rupees per day only for one-day communication. And he doesn't talk about communication, he says connecting. The name is Nido Chubain, Nidoquben. He's a Libyan who moved with $5 to America. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, it's no more communication. It is connecting heart to heart, connecting soul to soul, connecting mind to mind. And that's what the artificial intelligence also he's trying. All the teachers, those are scared of artificial intelligence and augmented reality. The thing is, I will show you a couple of slides. I'll share my screen with you. Let's flip through a couple of slides. Munish, you give me 10 minutes more?
Yes, sir. Please,
Okay.
you go ahead, sir.
Okay. I just wish to share a couple of slides with you because they will empower each one of you. These are very rare slides I wish to share with all of you. You'll get an idea what I'm talking about. Now, this is a future strategies in education, role of education, technology, or is it technologies making education relevant? I'll take it from the global perspective. And over here, when I talk about, ladies and gentlemen, the base of the entire universal development is education. If you want a peace in the world, if you want less of manufacturing of arms and armaments, you want to reduce terrorism, you have to focus on education. That is something very important. Quality education, need-based education, desirable education, that is something very important. What is the perspective when we are talking about? Let's not focus only on colleges, universities, and higher education. School education is equally important. Technology is very important. It was a pleasure and it was a treat when I was listening to Mr. Navdeep Goyalji. And he was talking about, yes, those skills are not existing today. Those jobs are not existing today. So by the time whatever we are teaching and the children, they pass out from the schools, colleges, universities, institutions, it will become obsolete. It will become obsolescent. So all my educators, please wake up. There is a nightmare. You have to get up from there. Please invite the corporate to form the syllabi. Please involve the corporate right from the beginning. Corporate should be right from the scratch. They should be taking your classes also. They should be coming to your classroom also. They should be taking your students to the factory and to the institution of theirs also. Let them become responsible and do the hand holding of the children if you really want your educational institutions to survive. Otherwise, the situation is so horrifying and it is so dangerous. 1.6 billion US dollar is the debt by the American students today from the different banks and institutions. I'm not talking about the private banks and private institutions. I'm talking about the government machinery. How will they recover that money if those colleges don't run, if those universities don't run? You've got to understand that. Now, when we are talking about learning the management education system, it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, what is the role of the educational institution? What is basically skills and competencies? What is the role of the technology? And what is the role of the corporate? We all have to understand. Technology has changed the education delivery mechanism. And if we do not change today with Dr. Manish Jindal, you will be left behind. Your college will be left behind. Your institution will be left behind. Your children will be left behind. And information is overloaded. Children do not want information. They have enough of information. Don't underestimate these millennials. These millennials are so much empowered and they're carrying so much of information and so much knowledge. You do not know what all they are carrying. Listen to them, sit with them, talk to them. Technology makes more technology possible. Too much of change is happening too short a time. The technology is changing too fast. Nighttime you sleep and in the morning you get up. It's altogether different. This change is overwhelming our youth and millennials. It's a very, 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 very bold statement which I'm going to make now. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber in 149 countries, when we have talked to the youth, you will be surprised to know they are very happy during pandemic. Those are grown-up kids. They say we are very happy with the technology blending, this flip learning, and this called blended learning, outside classroom learning. Okay, fine. They are missing their friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, and all that. That's a different part of it. But the technology is going to bring, and these millennials, when I talk about the impact of technology on education and study habits, now two things are very important. And people, those are sitting in Bangalore and those are sitting in southern part of India, whether you are in Chennai or you are in Hyderabad or you are somewhere else, please understand our chamber is working very hard on that. We are trying to reach out world over, right from the Silicon Valley, all the gamification which is coming in education now. We are requesting them, you should produce those games which can be applied right from the school level to the finale to the PhD. And the second part, there is a lot of research going on how the music therapy, singing, when you talk about dancing or the humming, whatever you talk about, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important to understand music therapy has got a lot. Technology has made learning easy, interactive, and interesting. Believe you or not, I just interacted with 5,000 plus principals from different institutions across India. When I shared the vision with all of them, they told, we are no more principal. I said, what are you talking about? You are principal. They said, no, we are not principal. I said, how come? They say, our teachers are teaching and now the parents are principal. They are observing what exactly is being taught, what exactly is going on. Dr. Sugata Mitra, he retired. He is the person who is from the IIT Delhi. Thereafter, he went to United States to the MIT. Thereafter, he went to UK. And thereafter, 2019, he just recently retired. Ladies and gentlemen, having seen, try and watch his videos and you will come to know, do you really require teachers? Do you require institutions? And my friend who just passed away last week on 21st of this month, Sir Ken Robinson in the UK. He was from UK, went to USA, got back to UK, and we lost a very, very noble and a very great soul, a policy strategy for education. When you listen to Dr. Sugata Mitra now, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, he says, if you fit in the machine and you don't have any teacher, put the camera on the top, see after 1 month what all children can pick up. That's very interesting. Now, when I'm talking about artificial intelligence capabilities, how it would help to teachers basically to achieve the desired outcomes, desired learning, what all is required. There are different folds what we talk about. Technology by itself doesn't make leaders. Technology only amplifies true leaders. So all the teachers, those are scared of if the technology will come, if the artificial intelligence will come, if the augmented reality will come, if the blockchain will come, if the technology too much would be surrounding, we might not get replaced. The technology only will expose those teachers, those were not doing their job very well earlier. Now the education will become totally transparent. This corona, this pandemic has come like a tsunami and it has made everything transparent. It was to come. It was to come after 8 or 10 years, which has come so early now. And remember, you will never be able to get back to January, February mode of your education. Now you've got to look forward. When you talk about artificial intelligence, when you talk about machine learning or deep learning, lot is to be discussed by all of us, ladies and gentlemen. New technology is common, but new thinking is rare. This is something very important. When you are scared as a teacher, I want to remove yours. You should not be scared now. Artificial intelligence cannot impart the culture of learning. How will you imbibe the culture, the norms, the social norms? AI cannot give students a sense of purpose. AI cannot provide moral support in times of need when you need it very badly. AI cannot identify context and morals. That all will come, the values and everything will come. But I will not talk more about artificial intelligence. 70% people in America have got all the comforts. They've got a beautiful home, they've got beautiful gadgets, they've got all machines, they've got beautiful cars, they've got all facilities, perks, privileges, whatever you can think of. What exactly is missing over there? It is missing is empathy, which Professor Das mentioned initially. Emotional intelligence is equally important as artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about EI, emotional intelligence is the world of artificial intelligence. Why emotional intelligence is critical? It is very important at the virtual places, our working places. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about the emotional intelligence, you've got to understand, and that's why the new coining of the word has come now, and that is called spirituality at the workplace. I'm not talking about religion. When I talk about spirituality, what exactly is that spirituality? You've got to understand. Now, what, how, and why? That is, I'm talking about emotional intelligence. It's very important for all of us to understand. You've got to be rational and you've got to be emotional. At the same time, you've got to understand what exactly are the ingredients of the emotional intelligence. That part is important. The accelerated rate of technological and social change has left the youth disconnected with the elders. You travel by train, you travel by bus, you travel by plane. If a youngster is sitting next to you, he or she is not interested to talk to you. They have got plug in their the microphones and they're listening, they're glued to their own mobile phone and they're in the virtual world. And if you tell them, excuse me, and they give you such a look, why are you disturbing my space and pace? I'm not interested to talk to you. You live in your world, I live in my world. This disconnection, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm talking about, is very important for all of us to understand. Challenge is to bridge the gap between both elders and youngsters. There is need of understanding, adaptability of both the backgrounds and being considerate to each other. We got to understand. And this is the crux which we have to understand. Colleges, universities, institutions, all the people, those are stakeholder in education fraternity. You cannot change with that speed with which the technology is changing. And if you do not change, please mark my next slide, which I want to share with all of you, because speed is with the corporate world. When I talk about online platforms, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Cisco, and there are many other in the pipeline, even including Netflix. They're planning to open their own universities and their own institutions. They are already thinking, and they say, hey, are we doing a piggy ride on the colleges and universities, or they are doing on us? Do we take the technology and information to them first, or they bring it to us? If we are bringing everything to the classroom and to the colleges and to the universities, then why are we waiting for them? Because we need not to go to any board, we need not to go to any governing body or academic council or something. And by the time the changes come in the curriculum, in those traditional way of teaching and learning, by the time the syllabi is obsolete and people are not interested. Now, coming to the new education policy, this is my second last slide, which I want to share with all of you so that you get the idea. New education policy, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm talking about it, has got few challenges. Number one, whatever we have got in the new education policy, we adopt it. That means in totality, the implementation. 6% of the GDP is going on right from the 1968 to 1986, 1992, and now 6% of which GDP. The GDP has increased over the years. The volume of the money in the circuit, in the market, in the economy has changed. And those are from the commerce and the economic background. They will understand what 6% are we talking about and who will bring the accountability onto that. Second part, adaptability. First is adopt, second is adapt. Now, what is adapt? In Bangalore, you would need some local adjustments and local changes at the state level. So policy got to be flexible depending on the state prevailing condition. What jobs are coming up, what things are coming up. Government initially, when they were coming with the skill policy, and I still remember, I had gone to Sikkim, I had gone to a couple of places where the temperature is -4 degrees. And Ministry of Rural Development, they came out with the standard operating procedure that all the classrooms will have air conditioning. If you got -4 degree temperature, then why do you need air conditioning over there? Because SOP says standard, so you cannot have universal applicable everywhere. Third part, transformation. Who would evaluate that how much transformation and how much competence has come with the new education policy? And the final thing, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, educators, trainers, the people those are going to teach. First of all, what equipment are you giving them? What privileges are you giving them? How equipped are they going to be technology-wise? And second part, who is going to train them? Okay, fine. You are getting them trained from the master trainer. Who are the master trainer? Where they got training? Who did their evaluation? So thereby, it's a complete cycle you got to take into consideration. When I talk about futuristic relevance of the curriculum, you need to develop speed and adaptation. That is something very important. Remember, nothing remains permanent. Everything does change, and change is only permanent, and change is only constant, which you all got to understand. Every evening, 7 to 8 p.m., I have got a live webinar, 2 lakh youth and 2 lakh educators and more than 2 lakh non-resident Indian from the world over. They come on my Facebook. It's from Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. Open your watch party. It's free of cost. And you can watch, you can send your suggestions. Let's all the stakeholders, those are serious to empower the education system in India, blended with the technology. We got to go over there, ladies and gentlemen. And that is something very important, which I wish to share with all of you. And I wish to tell only one thing, that nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. Everything can be done on this planet and anybody can do it. Or main, ek hi baat, the other day, because every Saturday I get all Ayurvedists together on a common platform. And one of the Ayurvedists who came just about 2 weeks back, he told me, bring your this finger next to nose. I said, I don't know what is he going to do. So I brought my this finger right to the nose. He says, feel it. I said, what do I feel? He says, is the breath coming? I said, yes. He says, is the breath going in? Yes. He says, as long as this is happening, do something creative for the humanity. Don't pass time on this planet. So ladies and gentlemen, my deepest regards, blessings, congratulations, heartiest congratulations to Dr. Manish Jindal. I love this man. I should not be understood because love has got a lot of meanings and a lot of connotations. I don't want to get into English language over there. I love him purely, piously. And I also give the blessings to Dr. Nancy Jan and of course, Professor Saab, Shantanu Das ji. Great welcome and a hearty welcome and a pleasure to meet you on this platform today. All of us together, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, किसी का कंपटीशन किसी के साथ नहीं है. आज का दिन ये बात समझ लीजिए, at the age of 70, because whatsoever life I am left over with, I have learned only one thing in last 70 years. What I wanted to become, I became something else. What I have become today, it's not me. Who is talking to you, it's not me. Who is giving this voice, it's not me. Who is giving this energy, it's not me. So there is no competition. Remember Shah Rukh Khan's dialogue, मेरा competition किसी के साथ नहीं है, मेरा competition खुद के साथ है. If I empower myself, I want to be a humble student. I want to be a student for all of you, and I want to learn from all of you. I want to learn the best from all of you. With these words, my best wishes to this platform and my blessings to all those who are watching this particular program. I think biologically, I'm the eldest brother, and all my brothers and sisters, those are in this particular program, remember Swami Vivekanand, and when he went 1893 to Chicago, sisters and brother of America, and talk. And that's the way we got to understand. Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Gulshan. So I will pick it up where you left, that when in 1893, Swami Vivekanand went to America. That trip was planned under the able leadership of Dr. Gulshan itself, because Dr. was handling the Department of Tourism. So that was planned by Dr. Gulshan itself at that time. So that is why when I said that this gentleman could be even older than Nalanda, don't think that I'm just lying. That is a truth. So now I believe whatever I have said, now you might be believing it's true, that when I said that this gentleman is even in a university itself. Now imagine a university going down to its students and a university asking the students, teach me, students, teach me. This is the humbleness of this gentleman, and I am blessed that he has adopted me as his younger brother. So I am blessed in that you are with me and I have your hand or my head. With your blessings, I am sure I will get to learn a lot. I'm just a baby. I've just stepped into the world, and I'm sure that my A's and B's and C's would take a correct form and a correct shape with your vision. I still have to learn the ABC. So I'm blessed that I have a mentor like you who's going to teach me, who's going to nurture me. And it's really, really, really empowering session. Whatever you have shared, the power of learning, how we are evolving together. And when you said rightly that we shall not compete, that I always say wheresoever I go. I say don't compete, one is coordinate. And if you really still you have that feeling of competition, that you really want to come first, then compete with yourself. Whatever, wheresoever you were a moment ago, you have to now surpass your own self. You have to surpass your own self.
मनीष, मैं तो ये 70 ईयर की एज में हाथ फैला के ये कहता हूँ, give me good orators, give me good visionaries, give me good speakers, let me put them onto the international platform with the 30 million non-resident Indians.
Wow. सर आप एक चीज बस करेक्ट कर लीजिए, जब आप 70 इयर्स कहते हैं ना, आप ये कहा करें मैं 70,000 साल की उम्र में ये कह रहा हूँ, तब आप काइंडली करेक्ट योरसेल्फ कि मैं 70,000 साल की उम्र में ये कह रहा हूँ. And then with your able vision and I love the part when you said that sit with the millennial kids, you don't know what they have. And now I'm going to tell you an interesting story in next 30 seconds. Two young lads, they thought of, they are going to put an elevator from Earth to Moon. See, when we talk about impossible becoming possible, and this is possible. And look at the visionary Dr. Nancy. She has already bought office space on Moon, and soon people talk about Earth, countries. She might be soon having an office on the Moon with those young millennium lads.
मनीष, एक चीज और मांगना चाह रहा हूँ.
जी सर.
एक तो मुझे अच्छे ओरेटर्स, अच्छे स्पीकर्स, अच्छे विजनरी दो, जो भारत की एजुकेशन सिस्टम को एम्पावर करके पुनः भारत को विश्व गुरु बनाए. एंड सेकेंडली, गिव मी 5 गर्ल्स एवरी इवनिंग, those want to talk on water saving.
सर एक विजनरी अभी आपके सामने बैठी हैं और एक या दो विजनरी से अभी आपको मिलवा देंगे इसी समिट में इन द अपकमिंग. So the leader with under whose vision things are happening around us, for me that is Dr. Nancy. If you're talking about women, no, Dr. Nancy is the global chairperson for WOW Women. She is leading a global sisterhood solidarity movement in 32 countries connecting women with women. So she's the right one. She's the right one. So I'm amazed when she does wonderful things, and so I'm blessed that I have people like you, Dr. Gulshan, wonderful people like Dr. Nancy, and none other than the visionary Dr. Shantanu Das with us, who all are making things happen. मैं इस दुनिया का शाहरुख खान हूँ कि अच्छा सा कोट पहना, टाई लगाया, आ गए बस माइक पे बैठ के सज धज के. But I don't do much, so I have lot to learn. And I'm blessed that I have people like you who are going to nurture me so rightly. We had one of the most empowering session, guys, today by Dr. Gulshan Sharma, and he rocks wheresoever he goes. And I'm sure we have much more with you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma. Kindly keep nurturing us, keep bestowing your bliss with us. And I still remember I still have your Indo-ASEAN invitation from your side, which I never reverted. And I feel so, that was the time I never, but I tell you the truth was I really wanted you first. I really wanted you to come speak your 70,000 years of experience so that I get bits and nuggets out of it. And then I come and speak something into your Indo-ASEAN program. So I would be looking forward whenever you would be wanting.
I'll close this session while saying, you all are the best. 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 And I close the session here.
With my folded hands, with my folded hands.
God bless. God bless.
Most love for you, and we have much more lined up for you. Please stay with us forever and ever. Another 70,000 years. मैं रहूं ना, आप हमारे साथ रहिएगा.
अरे क्या तुमने मणिकर्णिका का गाना सुना दिया तुमने.
मैं रहूं ना रहूं, आप हमारे, क्योंकि मेरी जर्नी पता नहीं कितनी, आप 70,000 साल आप और हैं अभी, तो प्लीज आप हमारे साथ रहिएगा. डॉक्टर नैन्सी कुछ कहना चाहती हैं?
देश से है प्यार तो हर पल ये कहना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं भारत ये रहना चाहिए, सिलसिला ये बाद मेरे यूं ही चलना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं भारत ये रहना चाहिए.
आपने भारत की बात की तो एक 15 सेकंड और लूंगा सर. बहुत अच्छी बात की. एक यंग स्टूडेंट, अ यंग लैड ऑफ 23 साल का, यूनिवर्सिटी के बाहर कदम रखता है, उसके हाथ पे एक 60 लाख के पैकेज का लेटर रखा जाता है, दूसरे हाथ पे ग्रीन कार्ड रखा जाता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया का, दोनों हाथों में. अब बताइए वो क्या करेगा?
वो डॉक्टर मनीष जिंदल की तरह वापस आ जाएगा.
मैंने दोनों उनको वापस किए, मैंने अपनी फ्लाइट पकड़ी, वापस आ गया, क्योंकि भारत का रहने वाला हूं, भारत के गीत सुनाता हूं, बस. इसके कुछ नहीं आता. तो thank you for being with us. Dr. Nancy wants to say something. Yes, Dr. Nancy.
Salute to you, both of you gentlemen here, rather all the gentlemen here. I see Professor Shantanu Das, I see Dr. Manish Jindal, and our very own Gulshan ji. And I feel so humbled here, and so grateful to you, sir. Totally mesmerized with your session. And I'll say, Gulshan ji, behind whatever you say you want educationists, you want orators, whatever, but at least you here have the power. Your words have the power to move anyone. The power behind building a persona, and the power behind making people fall in love with their passion, making them follow them, fall in love with their country, to do something for that. You have everything and you've moved them. If you see the chats, each and every one is moved by your wonderful session. And I'll just say, behind anything, any successful endeavor, there's a group, there's a tribe of change makers, there's a tribe of game changers, and you are the one. You are the institution in yourself, and there's much ahead to do with you. No matter, we all are trying, we'll make mistakes, but when we have people like you, we love you to be on our board of MentorX, also in our corporate advisory board. We'll definitely, Dr. Jindal will do the proceedings ahead, so that we have visionary like you, not just for MentorX, but for the Center of Excellence, which is being inaugurated today with Seshasdripuram Group of Institutes. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Seeking your blessings always.
Great. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Nancy. And I think after your speech, after your gratitude, Dr. Gulshan has left. I think he had another commitments. And thank you, Dr. Shantanu Das, for making this conference happen. And it's under your able vision. You can see, Dr. Shantanu Das, that how many wonderful people are joining us, and you see the power. So we are blessed. And now next, let's move to next speaker, wonderful Dr. Venkataraman Chakrapani. Wow. Can we have you on the camera, sir? Dr. Chakrapani? Wow, wow, wow.
Hi,
There he,
good afternoon all.
very good afternoon, sir. Namaste. Very good afternoon, Dr. Chakrapani. When first I read your name, I got a feeling that you are some South Indian star. Right. Then when I read Dr. Venkataraman, I thought, oh, Dr. Venkataraman, the reincarnation. You know, so I really want to know how many hats do you wear? Dr. Venkataraman, an innovator, HR leader, and then Dr. Venkataraman, scientist, and then Mr. Chakrapani, the star of the movies. I don't understand who you are, the very dynamic human being. Oh, I'm impressed. I'm impressed, sir.
Thank
You are
you.
indeed wonderful.
But
So
when
we
you
are,
said hat, that should always go to Dr. Manoj, because he is the best person with the hat in this entire.
I'm glad you heard Dr. Manoj yesterday.
No, I attended in between possible.
Wow.
Dilip,
Wow,
Dr. Nancy, Dr. Manoj,
That is
and Mr. Navneet and Dr. Gulshan now. So whenever time permitted, I logged in and then I attended the sessions.
wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Chakrapani, with my folded hands, heartfelt gratitude. Thank you for accepting our invite, and thank you for being with us. It's indeed a sheer privilege and honor for us that you are here with us, and you have spared your valuable time, and you have agreed to be our eminent speaker. And the tons of, I can see, close 23 years. Wow, that is going to be close to 3 decades of experience that you carry in the global human resource management. And I'm sure the arena we are right now, the times, HR experience, everyone needs that expertise, that how the world is going to be driven, the new norm. So we are glad and we are privileged that you are here, and with heartfelt gratitude, namaste, thank you, and we are loving to host you. And now pass on to Dr. Nancy to welcome Dr. Chakrapani and then Dr. Shantanu Das. Thank you.
Sure, indeed a pleasure to host you, Dr. Venkatesh. So, you know, what to say about you. I feel it's universe connecting dots who bringing us here. And I feel you are the one who will be the pillar to bridge the gap between corporate world and the academia, which is the need of the hour. We look forward wholeheartedly to your session, and I'll be glued to it. And probably, you know, I will request our Professor Shantanu to brief about your profile, your vast experience, so that we begin soon with your session.
Thank you, Dr. Munish and Dr. Nancy. I welcome Dr. Venkataraman Chakrapani ji on behalf of Seshasdripuram Group of Institution, a 90-year-old organization established in 1930. We welcome you along with the collaborators and the institution, Seshasdripuram First Grade College, North Bangalore Science Forum, Mentor X Global, Hover Robotics, Hoverboats India, RevUp, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, wholeheartedly for this third day, the last talk before the lunch, to give us the entire glimpse of, as Madam has already told, that you are the bridge between the academia and the industry. So to briefly introduce you, an innovative and performance-driven HR leader with 23 years of global experience in human resource management, with experience in various industries, retail, telecom, FMCG, services and manufacturing industries, currently working as a founder director of SFGC HR and consulting, providing business HR recruitment and training solutions to various corporates. So he is currently director SFGC. He has worked with Kalishwari Refinery as vice president. He has did his PhD in human resource management from Aztec University, Mexico. Landmark Group as head HR footwear division. Levi Strauss and Company as HR director South Asia. Bharti Airtel Limited as senior manager HR Tamil Nadu Circle. LG Equipments Limited as deputy manager HRD. and Indo National Limited Nippo Batteries as Officer HR. Wow, what a global leader we have amongst us. So without taking further delay and doing further delay, I would like to, and he has done several training programs, industry, personality, campus to corporate, driving high performance, time management, planning successful career, Six Sigma, HR masterclass, email etiquette, office etiquette, communication skills, motivation, and whatnot. And he has visited n number of countries for HR projects, training, and guest lecture. Over to you, Venkatraman sir, to address our elite delegates.
Thank you for a warm welcome, and thanks to Dr. Nancy, and because if she is not there, I will not be here addressing you people. Thanks to Dr. Nancy, Dr. Manish, and Professor Shantanu. Thank you very much. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, definitely you can.
Yes. So welcome you all. Introduction is already done. So let me just skip this slide, and quickly the topic which I'm going to cover today is a very brief and quick introduction to what Industry 4 Revolution is and what are all the various components in Industry 4 Revolution. So I'm going to touch about each and every component with few examples, and then more importantly, so what is the effect this Industry 4 Revolution is going to have on future job responsibilities? So is it very red, or it is very green, or it is amber? So what is the future opportunities looks like? I'll be sharing my views, and also share with you the results of certain studies which has been done globally. So first of all, let's understand what is industrial revolution. So industry revolution is nothing but how do you manufacture? So the way you manufacture, that methodology changes. To put in a very simple layman language, let's take cricket as an example. During 90s, 50s, 60s and 70s, 5-day test match, people used to glue into the radio and the TV and watch the 5-day test match with a day, rest day in between. So they actually will be engaged for 6 days, and people used to watch that patiently. But 80s and 90s, we saw that interest on test matches slowly gone down when the one-day international becomes very famous. So that's a revolution. As an industry revolution, this is another revolution in cricket. So I'm just trying to make you people understand very easily. So one-day international, then people stopped watching the 5-day matches, not for all the 5 days, and then they started watching the one-day international. Then comes the T20 revolution. So now people say, no, I cannot sit for one full day and watch the match. So for me, a 3 or 4 hour T20 match is more comfortable. So then the T20 revolution came, which is the next revolution in cricket. So people are already talking about T10, and there are already various T10 tournaments which is happening in UAE and all that. But as of today, we still have this T20 revolution. So this is revolution. First revolution where people moved from test match to ODI. Second revolution where people moved from ODI to T20. And then there will be a next revolution where people move from T20 to T10. So this is called as a revolution. And similarly, in the industry, the way you manufacture, when it changes from one methodology to the next methodology to the next methodology, improving efficiencies and replacing human labor, bringing in better products, that's basically called as revolution. So in industry 1 revolution, what happened basically is the manual manufacturing system got changed into a little bit of a mechanized system. So steam engines were started being used as a power source. Steam powered locomotives were brought in during that time. So a complete 100% manual manufacturing system got converted into a very, very initial manufacturing system with a little bit of technology here and there as a first industrial revolution, which happened in the 18th century. The second industry revolution, majorly Ford played a major role, where the production system changed into an assembly line system. So Henry Ford brought out this concept, which he saw somewhere else. He said that there is a group of people normally who manufacture a car in his workshop, and there will be some 15, 20 team which will be making that entire car. So he just changed the system, saying that why people have to assemble in a place. Instead of that, there will be experts, and the product will move from one line to another line to another line, and the person who's standing in that assembly station will do a little bit of assembly. So he will do one assembly, then the product will move. Then there will be another guy who's expert in that door assembly, will do door assembly. Next it will go to engine assembly. So he brought in this concept. So this significantly increased the efficiency, and it also saved a lot of time. So this basically happened between 1863 to 1947. So this is the industry revolution number 2. In third industrial revolution, we saw computers playing a major role. Automation came into picture, and the products started getting manufactured without much help of people. Robots were started introducing during this stage, but still robots are not being used to the maximum capability even today. But robots were started used in the industrial manufacturing system. So this is the 3 industrial revolution which has happened so far. And now what we are going through is 4th industrial revolution. So industry 4 revolution. The industrial revolution will not happen overnight. Okay, so there will be various parameters which will come, and those parameters will get used into the production system, service system slowly. So one point of time we will see, oh, we used to work in a different manner. Now today we are working in a different manner. When the change comes, when that realization comes, it's actually the starting of the revolution. So whatever characteristics I'm going to share in the industry 4 revolution, they are not new. Some of them are there for the last 10 years. Some of them are there for the last 2, 3, 5, 6 years. But what will happen now on is this is going to become the norm of manufacturing for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So that is why it is called as an industry revolution 4 now. So this is the quick snapshot. Industry revolution 1, mechanization, where steam power was brought in 1765. Industry 2, mass production, assembly line came into picture in 1870. Third industrial revolution, where automation, computers, electronics started playing a major role in 1969. And today we are going through the industry revolution 4, where the cyber physical systems are playing a major role. So this industry revolution is not only for the manufacturing sector, it is also for the service industries, for the all industries together. Internet of Things is going to play a major role. Networks are going to play a major role. So now we are talking about industry 4 revolution. What are all the 9 characteristics which form the industry 4 revolution? Advanced robotics. So it's not robotics, because robotics is already there in industry 3 revolution. What we are going to see in industry 4 revolution is advanced robotics, Internet of Things, big data, along with artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that, augmented reality, horizontal vertical integrations, simulations, usage of simulation technologies, cloud technologies, additive manufacturing, and cyber security. These are all the basic characteristics which encompasses the industry 4 revolution. So I'm going to quickly explain each and every characteristic with one simple example so that people can understand better. Advanced robotics, what happens here is the robots will eventually interact with one another and work safely side by side with the humans and learn from them. Okay, so these robots are going to cost lesser. So that is the difference between usage of robotics in Industry Revolution 3 and 4. In Industry Revolution 3, not much of robots were used because of the cost component. Now today, since the cost of the robot is going to become cheaper, more and more industry is going to see whether they can use robo in their manufacturing or service parameters. So a couple of examples. Many of you who are living in a city, metro city or so, would have already seen this restaurant called Robo Restaurant. So a couple of Robo restaurants are there in Chennai, and I believe in Bangalore also it should be available. So what happens here is the food is basically served by the robots. Okay, so this is already in vogue, but if you see how many robo restaurants we have in India, very few, 0.0001% of the total restaurants. That's because they are costly today. So what will happen tomorrow, slowly, 10 years, 15 years time, these robots will become cheaper, and the application of robots in this particular usage will increase. So it will not completely replace, which will never happen, but the usage of robots for this particular purpose will increase. The second example, what you see is a car manufacturing, car assembly line. So in Europe, most of the car manufacturing companies have done 100% usage of robots for assembly, not for manufacturing, for assembly. Even in India, if you go to factories like Maruti and Hyundai, you can see a significant percentage of the assembly is done by the robots. The third one, which you see below, is basically movement of goods or finished products or file storage system, one place to another place using robots. The small one which you see below this is a robo where it moves the product from one place to another place. Certain FMCG manufacturing companies are using it, where when the finished product is there, when it is loaded into the pallet are moved from the finishing area to the warehouse storage area using these robots, and from there to the dispatch area through these robots. So these are all the applications which are already in place. Now more and more industries will see whether they can adapt to this robot technology. Internet of Things, it's there for quite some time now. I worked with a company called LG Equipments between 2000 to 2004. And during that time itself, LG is a compressor manufacturing company. At that time itself, they had this IoT technology where a chip will be inserted in the compressor, which will be used somewhere in some place in some factory in the customer's place. But the performance of the compressor will be monitored from the factory monitoring station. So whether it is performing well, any change of spare parts is required, is there any troubleshooting, that will be monitored from here. And if there are any issues, a message goes to the service engineer in that area, and he goes and attends to the compressor malfunctioning. So that's how IoT works. And a couple of examples, all the smart infrastructure which we are using IoT technology. Security surveillance systems and the transportation systems. Already there are plenty of applications of IoT in our day-to-day life. Big data and analytics is going to play a major role in decision making for almost all industries. A few weeks back, I was actually browsing along with my son about a course in IIM Indore. They have a course of 5 years integrated management course, and my son is now in grade 11. In the next 2 years, he has to apply for various courses. And I went to Google and then I typed 5-year integrated course IIM Indore. Then it took me to a website where it showed the course details and all that. Our purpose was only to know about the course and what is the selection methodology, etc., and all that. So once we did that, and then I closed my system, the next day when I opened my laptop, on the side there is a lot of advertisement which keeps coming. So I started getting new advertisements, promotions. Those are all from the institutes which are providing coaching classes for the examination, entrance examination of IIM Indore 5-year integrated course. So this is how my browsing history has been captured by this organization, and they have started popping up those courses, that they are promoting those courses. So this is big data. This comes under the big data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So people are going to collect the data like anything, and then they are going to predict how the customers and clients are going to take decisions, and how do we push our products and services to them. So this is another major trend which has already started coming up, and it's going to play a major role in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Big data applications, we can already see a lot of retail companies use this, financial services, fraud services, web and digital media, which are the examples which I showed you. So it's already in vogue in various industries, and other industries will quickly pick up. Augmented reality, we all know what this is. Okay, so this is going to be, augmented reality is going to play a major role in service industries. One example which I would like to share is when COVID struck very badly during March, April time, when the international travel was completely cut down. A travel company which got affected, business very badly, they came out with an innovative concept. So they used, it's in Germany, they used this AR VR concept, and what they did is they promoted tourism, and they took people to different tourist spots when the tourist people are sitting in their home using this gadget of AR and VR. They actually took people for a sightseeing. It's a half-a-day sightseeing, one-day sightseeing, and that was a big hit. When all other tourism companies were completely affected, zero business, this company brought in this new concept and made hell a lot of money. So people in Europe sitting particularly people who are very aged people who cannot go out, they used this, and that is how the usage in future is going to be. Now, once the international travel opens up after 5-6 months, people are going to travel. So what will happen to this type of travel industry, this innovative product which they came out, this they are going to apply for aged people who cannot move out. They can still go for a tour and they can see various places using this AR VR technology. Horizontal and vertical integration. Which type of companies will do horizontal and which company will do vertical? I will explain with an example. First of all, let me explain the concept, what is horizontal and what is vertical integration. So horizontal integration happens when similar companies who are in the same business try to come together and reduce cost and improve efficiencies. Okay, so horizontal integration will happen in industries where cost is a major factor, and any reduction of cost which will improve the profitability of the organization, the horizontal integration will play a major role. Example, Vodafone and Idea. So they came together and then they shared the resources. They said that you are also spending a lot of money on network. I am also spending a lot of money on network. So why don't we share our network? So to reduce the cost, you know, telecom is very cost sensitive. So they came together and then brought in this horizontal integration. They saved money. So this is going to happen because in the near future, cost is going to play a major role. Whereas vertical integration will be done by organizations or industries where they are very cash rich and they have a deep pocket. For example, Reliance type of industries which doesn't bother spending money, they will go for this vertical integration. So what happens in vertical integration is, in a supply chain of business, there will be various levels and each and every value addition will be done by various other organizations and they will have some type of a profit. So there will be a process A done by one particular vendor and he will sell the product or process to product B. So that company will buy from A with a little bit of cost markup, and then this process, there will be a B process and sell the product to next the product C. So there will be another cost value addition. So finally it will go to a company which will sell the product. Example, here is Nescafe. So the Nescafe saw that there is a retailer, there is a transporter, and there is a coffee bean grower. So when there are each and every level, each and every part, there is a profit sharing which happens. There is a value addition which happens. So the Nescafe said, if I have the complete supply chain with me, then those little profit which goes to outsider will lie within me and I can become cost conscious and I can become cost effective. So this is how the vertical integration works. So horizontal integration and vertical integration also going to play a major role because there are two types of industries. One is an industry where it is very cost conscious. They need to save each and every penny. They will go for horizontal integration. Companies and industries which have a deep pocket, who would like to become very efficient and a market leader, will go for vertical integrations. Simulation. Simulation is nothing but testing or creating a product in a lab environment before it goes and hits the market. In manufacturing industries, there will be a department called R&D, which will basically manufacture the product, test in a test environment. You would have seen a lot of videos where luxury cars, when they get manufactured, so that will for the crash test, they will be doing a simulated accident to see how strong the car is and how much of damage it happens, whether the airbags are opening properly. So there will be a simulated accident scenario. So those type of things, if they are not doing in the simulator, then if it happens in the real life in the road, the damage will be multifold. And a lot of companies which are in the aerodynamic space and aviation space, they cannot afford to do a testing in the real life environment because that's going to be very costly and it is impossible. So that is where the simulation concept is going to get used. In medical, as we see today, coronavirus vaccination, once they create the vaccination, there are various stages where they have to test it in an internal environment before they go and make it the product commercially available for everyone. So these are all the various examples where the simulation will come into play, and more manufacturing industries also are going to use this simulation concept. Cloud technology is there for many years. So earlier, 25 years, 30 years back, we can see one big room of around 10 by 10 or 20 by 20. Each and every office will have to store their database servers. So nowadays we don't see those type of big servers, because it's stored in a different place, which is called as a cloud technology. So this cloud technology, after which has come in, it has saved a lot of money and space. Some examples of cloud technology which we are using in our day-to-day life is the videos which we are seeing in our YouTube. Okay, so we just log into YouTube and we watch so many videos. But where are the videos? Are they stored in my laptop? No. So that's stored in cloud. So where my Gmails are getting stored, it's not stored as such in my laptop. It is stored somewhere else, and then I go and access it. So cloud technology has already become big, and the cloud technology is going to enable the other characteristics of Industry 4 revolution so that they become successful. Additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing is a manufacturing technology which is also called as a 3D printing. So this 3D printing is going to make a major impact. Already a lot of organizations in US and in Europe, they have already started testing this. Particularly the construction industry in US have started using this technology very high level already. One example, which is a very recent example, what I was told is when the coronavirus hit very badly during the initial stages of Jan, Feb, March, China very quickly built a hospital in 10 days, 15 days time. So they used actually this additive manufacturing technology, 3D printing technology to build that hospital quickly. So that is how in the real estate industry, this is having an impact. And in US, there is already a lot of real estate companies which are using this additive manufacturing to reduce the cost and also to reduce the time very quickly. Just to give you an example how the subtractive manufacturing and additive manufacturing, what is the difference? Let's take this example of manufacturing the screw. So what happens in subtractive manufacturing, which is a traditional manufacturing system, is that there will be a piece of metal, okay, and that metal will be drilled like this, and it will undergo various process to give this final screw. So this is a typical traditional subtractive manufacturing methodology. So what happens in the additive manufacturing methodology is that to start with, there is nothing. There is nothing. So what happens is the piece of metal is added layer by layer to finally manufacture the screw. Very simple, no wastage of metal, no wastage of friction. Manufacturing, the cost is very less. So this is the big difference which I'm trying to explain with a simple example between the subtractive manufacturing and additive manufacturing. How simple it is. It saves a lot of space, and cost is a major saving when you are doing it in bulk. So this additive manufacturing technology, already we are seeing 3D technology available in India. Many engineering colleges have this to demonstrate how it works for their students. So because in the next 10 years, this is going to play a major role. When all this is happening, cyber security has to be very strong. So if that is not strong, then all that what we are doing is not safe. So we see that the cyber security industry is trying to cope up with the speed of the other components of Industry 4 revolution. But still, my personal opinion is that they are not where they are supposed to be today. Even now, there is a lot of hacking happens. So actually, the cyber security should be one level higher than the other technology, so that they can say, guys, I'm ready for this. So please come, grow. So that's not there today. Actually, the cyber security is one level lesser. My LinkedIn was hacked around 2-3 times. My Hotmail was hacked around a couple of times. My LinkedIn was hacked, and then the hacker sent messages to my connections. My LinkedIn is very strong. I have around 21,000 LinkedIn connections. So he saw that, and then he went and hacked and sent messages to various people asking for money. So one of my friend called up and said that what happened to you, Venkat? Why you are asking for money through LinkedIn? I said that where I'm asking money. He said that your LinkedIn message has come in. So when I logged in and I saw, first of all, I was unable to log in because the password was changed. Then I have to use all the change password techniques. And when I saw, he has sent messages to around 1,000+ people. So then I have to send messages to everyone saying that, sorry, my account was hacked, and then lodge a complaint to LinkedIn, and then have a 2-step validation process and all that. So still, cybersecurity, which is supposed to safeguard the entire Industry 4 revolution technology related components, are still not at the desired level. but they will pick up and it will become very stronger in the future days. So these are all the 9 characteristics which are there in Industry 4 Revolution, which I thought I will give you a quick introduction to. Now coming to the impact on employment opportunities. Though there are various studies which says that it will affect very badly, so many people will lose job, etc., and all that. But based on a very detailed research, what we carried out, what happened in Industry 1 Revolution, 2 Revolution, 3 Revolution, we have a very strong report which says that all forms of manufacturing will exist. Okay, so if the Industry 4 is going to bring in more application of robots, automation, etc., there will be certain set of industries which will be doing that because it requires a little bit of a cost. But whichever industries which are doing at a lesser level today, without all that, will also exist. And whatever happened in Industry 2 Revolution will also exist. But the percentage of those organizations will be different. So what will happen is more organizations will try to move into the Industry 4 Revolution and use all these characteristics. People who don't have money will follow this, but this will be slightly lesser. Industry 2 Revolution based manufacturing will also continue because they again cannot afford money. That also will exist. So just to give you a quick example, in many organizations we see various ERP packages. So we see organizations which can spend a lot of money, which actually need a very strong ERP system, will have SAP, Oracle, those type of costly ERP systems. So there are certain organizations which are mid-term, okay, so medium term, which cannot afford that much of a money, or which don't need that type of very robust big ERP, will follow second rung of ERP systems like what we have as Ramco info systems and all that. So those type of ERP packages they will have, okay, because they don't need very big ERP system or they cannot afford that much. The third one is we still see many organizations follow Tally. They don't have any other ERP. Tally is one of the cheapest ERP available in India for finance related things. They follow Tally because for their business and for their expenses thing, Tally is enough. But still we have very small organization which only uses Excel. So even today you have this 4 level of organization existing, and this will exist forever. The only thing is what happened, the number of organizations percentage wise, it will be lesser. And if somebody is working in these organizations, will get paid lesser and his growth path will be slower. So so why I'm trying to explain this is tomorrow everything is going to change and people who are not in those technology are going to become extinct. No, that will not happen, but it will have an impact. Definitely it will have an impact if people are not reskilling. It will have an impact. They will not be one of the best paid employees in their country, but still they will have opportunities. So a recent study, McKinsey says that 1/5 of the global workforce will be impacted because of AI and automation. And where it will initially happen is mostly in UK and US and Germany, most of the European countries and in UK. So Asia, it will come only in the second wave or third wave, and particularly in India, where we have a lot of manual laborers and the population is huge, it will have a lesser impact and it will take more time to create an impact as it happens in UK and US. Companies will think for automation, whoever can afford will move, and new roles will emerge. So what we have done in a couple of manufacturing companies during our consulting assignment is that when we introduced robots, there were various job losses. What we tried is we upskilled them. So we gave them training program, we upskilled them, and then we made them the operators of robo, and then we made them to operate something else. So whenever there is a reskilling, upskilling is happening, then the job losses will be minimal, and whoever is not willing to reskill or upskill only will have a negative impact. Remote working, as we already see, this COVID-19 situation has contributed to this, and this is going to become norm in the future. And gig economy is picking up. Gig workers are picking up. There are a lot of people in the IT sector who fall under the gig worker category, where they take up temporary assignments. They don't want permanent job with Infosys, Wipro, and those type of IT companies. They are specialists. They are not a normal software developer type of people. They are specialists in a particular technology. They will be hired for a particular project, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. They will be paid a sum of money. And then after the project, they take break for 2-3 months, and then they go into the next project. So many IT companies have already started hiring gig software developers and gig experts for their organization. So this is going to grow. Yesterday, I was reading an article that it's not only in the blue collar jobs, also in the white collar job, not in the white collar job, even the blue collar job, this is going to come in certain manufacturing things. So maybe after 10 years, we can see a lot of impact of this gig workforce in various organizations. So jobs which are going to get affected is mostly will be in manufacturing. Okay, so that is where a lot of automation, usage of robots and all that are going to happen, and in agriculture. IIM Kozhikode is doing a project where they are trying to see how they can introduce various concepts of Industry 4 revolution in agricultural sector. They are doing a project in Coimbatore. This is with an aim to improve the agricultural efficiencies, and even in Japan and other countries, these type of studies are going on. So two major industries which are going to get benefited because of this Industry 4 revolution, to put it in a positive word, is manufacturing and agriculture. And there the people are always ready to upskill. We have seen manufacturing is one of the most oldest industry, but we have seen that they upskill and then they keep pace with the current technology. So these two industries will get impacted most likely. And when we studied an industry where this impact will happen, food preparation industry is going to apply a lot of automation. Okay, so I'm doing a consulting for a South Indian restaurant chain. They have around 175 restaurants in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So that chain, I went to the central kitchen and I saw most of the production of sweets and snacks are automated. 90% of the manufacturing of sweets and snacks are automated, and it is neat and clean without any human intervention. So this food production, particularly bulk food production, a lot of FMCG companies are going to implement this technology more and more and more to become cost efficient. Construction industry, as I told you, the 3D printing is going to benefit a lot. It's already there in US. The European countries are slowly picking up, and countries like China and Japan will also start using this. Cleaning, we have already seen there is a lot of auto cleaning happening, robots cleaning happening and all that. Driving in Dubai, they have already tested in road the driverless cabs. So this is still going on. They are testing for the last 1.5 years, and still they are testing so that it becomes a completely foolproof. Once it happens, the first area, the first geographical area where this will be introduced is Middle East, and then slowly US and Europe will pick up. Agricultural labor, as I told you, there are IIM Kozhikode types, various other organizations are doing the research, and they will try to improve the efficiencies in agricultural industry. Garment manufacturing. So India is actually one of the hub for garment manufacturing. Of course, the biggest hub in the entire world is Bangladesh, and the Bangladesh is close to around 60% of the workforce are working in garment industry only. So after that, Sri Lanka, India plays a major role, followed by Pakistan. So there a lot of automation are already there. Sri Lanka is actually leading by introducing a lot of automation technology. India is following that. Bangladesh, it will take a longer period because their workforce is depending on the government technology. So there the automation will take a little bit of a time, but other places like China and all that will pick up very fast. Garment manufacturing industry is going to get benefited out of this, and personal services, secretarial services, sales. So all this will have a positive impact in the Industry 4 revolution. So now what guys who are planning for their career in the next 5-10 years they have to do is they have to see very closely where the impact are going to happen, where they are currently with respect to those skill sets, how they can upskill if they have to play that major role and be in one of the top organization and get the top salaries. Then there is a clear planning which is required, whether you are up for the game or not, and how do I, which technology out of the 9 in the Industry 4 revolution I should become, and where I should become an expert so that I will be in the top, whether I should or I should not. So these are all the industries who are going to get positively benefited. So which industry I can select, in that industry what is the technology I should use. So people who are going to plan their career, there are already many people who are planning like this, and whichever new technology is coming, there are few set of brainy people who foresee, and then they try to upgrade themselves to be in that technology. To be very frank, I am also upgrading myself. In HR, there is a new concept called Agile. Agile is basically used by various software developers in software development in the IT industry. But this Agile technology or Agile people ops framework in HR has just been introduced 6 months, 1 year back in US. And the Silicon Valley top companies are trying to see how they can introduce this Agile. And I actually now trying to upgrade myself, because if Agile people ops HR is going to be the future in the next 5, 10, 15 years, then I should not be left behind. So I'm actually doing a course with an institute in US, and the course is another 1 month to go. I will be the first Indian to get certified in Agile People Ops framework as a coach. So I want to be the top runner, and I would like to finish the race first. So I'm upgrading myself. So hence, guys who would like to plan their career, who are in the colleges now on the early part of the employment or in the mid age of employment, they need to see what type of impact in their industries it is going to happen, and they need to plan their career and upskilling accordingly. Jobs which will least likely to be impacted is all this automation, robots and all that will not have a thinking power to understand the human emotions. Okay, so that's one thing which the robots or this automation will take a longer period to understand. Like we have seen the movie Robo, the Rajinikanth's movie Robo. The Robo initially was unable to understand the sensitivities of a human thing. So that will not go for much of automation. So wherever the human thing is absolutely required, those type of industries will take a slow path, and maybe tomorrow they will find out some technology to address that also. But since we are in the early stage, early waves of Industry 4 revolution, those areas where still the human intervention is required to understand the nuances of the feelings and sensitivities of the human thing, those industries will go slow to become completely automated, and usage of robots and all that. So people who are in that industry can relax a little bit, so there is more time available for you to see the threat. So those industries will get affected very less. So the future of work is going to be definitely interesting. Okay, and if these transformations are managed wisely, then we will have a fantastic environment to work, and our quality of life will be something completely different. Because I've lived in various parts of the world, I spent around 4 years in Dubai. The quality of life is completely different because they use a lot of technology in that. So once all these technologies are being used wisely, then our life will be completely different. But at the same time, if these technologies are managed poorly, and if somebody wants to be in the race first and then use this technology wrongly, then it will create a wide gap, a gap where there are organizations or people who can afford to this technology and who cannot. And this gap will be wide. So there is no middle thing available if we use this technology in a wrong manner. So, but I believe there is various studies going on how to use this technology properly. So the worst should not happen unless something goes completely out of control. But rest assured that these technologies are going to help us to grow better and have a fantastic life forward. So that's the subject which I would like to cover today, and open for questions.
Sir, request you, if you can, stop sharing.
Yes.
Yeah, done. Wonderful.
So do we take the questions through chat?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, all appreciations, like very energetic session, excellent, very informative, awesome, power packed.
Thank you.
Great to have you with us, Dr. Venkat. Very interesting session.
Wow, that's super awesome. Dr. Venkata Raman Chakrapani, our very own human resource leader, the South Indian star, as well as the scientist. So many people in one. And I have fallen in love with your name, sir. Wow,
Okay.
wow. So wonderful. More the kind of expertise you possess. That is indeed, I'm indeed grateful. Such a wonderful session. Thank you for being with us. And we are going to line up many more sessions with you. We are looking forward to a long-term relationship. And if you can today spare, we have 4:30 to 6:30 valedictory session, as well as the honoring ceremony. And under the wonderful vision of Dr. Shantanu Das with Seshasdripuram Group, we are inaugurating our Center of Excellence for Mentorex and Center of Excellence for Over Robotics. If you could spare 5 minutes between 4:30 to 6:30, please join us.
Sure, we'll do.
Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Shantanu Das. Sir, unmute. Big brother, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Venkat Raman Chakrapani, sir. We wholeheartedly thank you from Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, Seshasdripuram First Grade College, REBUP, North Bangalore Science Forum, Over Robotics, Over Boats, Indian Institute of Science, Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, for the 3rd International Conference. And we request you that if you could join, as Dr. Munish has told, that 4:30 to 5:30, if you could spare your most valuable 5 minutes of time, we'll be ever grateful to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. To see you soon after the post-COVID, so that we can meet personally, we all the 3 plus you. And it will be a wonderful program at the North Bangalore Science Forum, Yelahanka. Anyway,
Yes.
Today, Center of Excellence of Mentorex as Hover Robotics is going to be inaugurated at Seshasdripuram. Thank you, sir. See you soon, and hope to meet you at 4:30.
Thank you, Dr. Santanu.
Munish. Thank you, Dr. Nancy, for sparing your most valuable time.
We are part of you. We are part of you, Dr. Shantanu. We are part of Seshasdripuram.
Yeah, that's what I told you. We 3 are like 3 different places, but one soul.
One soul, yes. So we are grateful with Dr. Venkata Raman Chakrapani, and looking forward to long-term bond, as well as looking forward to see you at the valedictory session.
Thank you.
And now we're breaking out for lunch. Guys, today we have a shorter lunch, so have your lunch quickly. And sharp at 4 or 2 o'clock, we are starting with our wonderful eminent speakers. Now the next lineup is Dr. Harmeet Singh, Project Head Robanova, Dr. Gayatri Gauri Shankar from Mauritius, Mr. M.V. Rangacharya Alu, Ms. Palaksani, and Mr. Samir Garg from Billionaires. So eat well and be happy. Stay tuned to your laptops. Don't go anywhere, because Dr. Shantanu Das has much more for you. He's throwing away too many surprises, and he's going to mesmerize us with all his love, all his greatness. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shantanu. Thank you.
Eat well. Come back soon with lots of water and snacks, so that you are going to stay with us for around 7 o'clock. But don't sleep. God bless you all. Eat and come back soon, 2 o'clock. Thank you, one and all.